A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the Goldbergs. Looking into the human heart and mind is like looking into a dark glass that reflects more of the outside than the inside. But if you have wisdom, patience, and skill, you can see more than usual. Young Dr. Christopher Cater has all three. He's trying to take Sammy Goldberg's life and Sylvia's and make something right and proper of it. But Jake can only see his son lying in bed, uneasy, irritable, and worried. And Jake is afraid that Dr. Cater is making things worse. Sammy has already confessed to Christopher that he wants to marry Sylvia not because he pities her, but because he loves her. Pity was a word he used because he was ashamed to confess that after all Sylvia had done, there was love left. Downstairs, waiting for the doctor to come down, Jake is laying down the law.
Molly,
listen.
Did you heard me?
I heard you, Jake.
And why don't you answer me?
What answer is there, Jake? Did you ask me a question or did you make a commanding statement?
Did you heard me? That's what I want to know. And that's a question for which I'm awaiting an answer.
I heard you. I heard you, Jake. You said when Dr. Cater comes out in Samuel's room, I should tell him that we do not require his professional services anymore.
That's exactly what I said and exactly what I mean.
Right, Jake.
Because his kind of treatment is not helping Sammy. That's right.
I have confidence.
I have not.
Why?
Because the boy is more confused now than ever.
But, Jake, darling, after all, we considered it such a great favor when Dr. Cater Sr. said he would ask his son to look at Sammy. But from the very beginning, we knew Sammy didn't need regular medical attention. Even the doctor in South Carolina told us that the worst thing that happened to Sammy after the accident was the confusion in his mind. And for that, Jake, we don't need regular medical attention, darling. We need what Dr. Cater is. You know that, Jake, darling. We need what Dr. Cater is, a psychologist.
Whatever he is, Molly, the boy is not improving. That's my concern.
He will improve. It takes time, Jake.
It's taking too much time.
But we have to have patience, Jake.
I can be patient when it means that the girl is also here.
Sylvia will leave when Sammy gets well, Jake. She promised, and she will.
I haven't the confidence in her promises that you have.
Okay, darling, the doctor's coming. Not one syllable. Doctor?
Mr. Goldberg, Sammy wants to see you.
Yes, doctor. How did you find him, doctor? Did you quiet him?
Oh, he'll be all right.
Thank you. It was only because Sylvia went to your office that Sammy got
I know.
Doctor, I wish to speak to you.
Mr. Goldberg is impatient.
Sammy wants you, Molly.
Yes. I'm going this second. Doctor, can you ensure Mr. Goldberg that Sylvia will leave when Sammy gets well enough?
I'll speak to the doctor, Molly.
Yes. I only mentioned it because I know that's what's on your mind, Jake. That's all. That's why I mentioned it, Jake.
That's exactly what's on my mind, Doctor. Mrs. Goldberg is naive enough to believe that Sammy doesn't love the girl anymore. I am not so easily convinced. I'm sorry, Doctor. Please, sit down.
Thank you. You see, Mr. Goldberg, both you and Mrs. Goldberg are right about your son's feeling to this girl. He both loves and resents it.
How can that be?
Well, it's true of most human relations. I mean, you can take any situation in which two people are concerned, and you'll find two opposing tendencies. One brings them together, one drives them apart. And when the situation is normal, people are able to adjust themselves to the forces within. When people aren't normal, when for some reason there's been a terrible strain, then utter confusion is the result. People act both ways at once. And that's exactly what Sammy is doing. He wants to marry Sylvia because he loves her, and he wants to marry her because he'll be able to pay her back for all the suffering and humiliation she's caused him.
Then, Doctor, how will you overcome this?
Overcoming it is the treatment. And the treatment consists of one thing only. Getting Sylvia and Sammy to understand themselves completely, down to the last tiny motivation in their souls.
But after all, suppose he still wants to marry her.
No, I don't think he will. But if he does, then the marriage will be a success.
Doctor, I don't want my son to marry Sylvia.
No, in his present state, of course not. But as for the future, I think you'll just have to let it take care of itself. You see, your son is living through a very intense personal crisis, Mr. Goldberg. And any blindness on the part of, well, people about him will result in a tragedy for the rest of his life. And yours.
She ruined him, Doctor. He was healthy, happy, ambitious, and she made him what he is.
No, she merely helped Mr. Goldberg. You see, there is no personal confusion which people do not partly cause themselves.
I don't know what to do, Doctor.
I know, but trust me.
Is it necessary for you to treat Sylvia also?
Well, it makes everything easier for us. I wanted to say, Mr. Goldberg, I wish I could speak to Sylvia's father the way I can speak to you.
I beg your pardon. What's Sylvia's father, Doctor?
Oh, nothing. I just said that I wish I could speak to Sylvia's father the way I can speak to both of you.
Oh.
You see, I'd like to find out a few things about her childhood.
Yes.
Because somewhere back in her childhood is the clue to her present character.
Well, Doctor, I would feel a great deal better also, Doctor, if you could. I mean, then I wouldn't feel this, how shall I say, this big responsibility.
Yes.
Doctor, if I would call Mr. Allison, would you speak to him and ask his permission for treating his daughter, Doctor? Would that be all right? I mean, would you, Doctor?
Well, yes, why not?
Oh, Jake, I can put in a long-distance call. I'd feel better. Huh, Jake?
If you feel better...
Yeah, I would, Jake, darling. I would indeed. What's the number, dear?
Make it party to party. Greeley Mill, 5-4.
Greeley Mill, 5-4, yes. Greeley Mill, 5-4. I'll get it. Doctor, dear, it wouldn't take long because sometimes it's even shorter than the localized call.
Oh, yes, of course, I realize that. I'll be out on the porch.
Yes, Doctor. If there's not a comfortable rocker, so you could take a rocker from indoors.
Oh, thank you very much, but I think that'll be all right.
Look, not on the green one because it was just painted. Take the other rocker.
Not on the green. All right.
Yeah. It's so wonderful. Hello? Operator, long distance, please.
Party to party.
Long distance? Long distance, I wish South Carolina, please. Greeley's Mill, 5-4. Yes.
Party to party.
I wish to speak party to party.
Mr. Ellison.
Mr. Ellison in person, personally. But, no, I wouldn't hang. It's quicker without hanging. Hello? My number is Glastonbury 78. Yes, operator. What is that? Who's calling? Who shall I say?
Say who is calling. You, no?
I thought you, no?
No, you.
Yes, me. Hello? Mrs. Goldberg. Me, personally. Yes, to person and person, personally. Yes. Hello? Yes, please. Please, if you will. Oh, they're coming in. Oh, yes, I can hear them already. They get the patients. They're very rapid. Hello? Yes, Mr. Allison. What's that?
What is it?
He's not there?
See if they can locate him elsewhere.
Can you find him elsewhere?
In the store.
In the store. Hello? Yes. A report?
Why not?
That's all right.
What's all right?
An extra charge.
For what?
The report. Yes.
What?
There?
What?
Then.
What then?
You're sure?
Sure what?
Oh. Thank you very much.
What's the report?
Oh, maybe it's better that way.
What's better?
I'm very glad.
Glad about what, Molly?
After all, he is a father.
So what?
So nothing, Jake. He's coming. He left for Glastonbury. That was the report. Mr. Allison is coming.
Allison is coming here?
He's coming here.
When will he be here?
When? Oh, that I didn't ask.
Can you imagine a woman,
So Sylvia's future and Sammy's now rest completely in the hands of Dr. Cater.
Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. After weeks of investigation, a suspect in a burglary is picked up. You've got the evidence for a conviction, but over $200,000 in loot is still missing. Your job, find it.
It was Saturday, March 5th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We're on our way back from the cell block, and it was 9:45 a.m. when we got to the interview room. Felony section.
I'll get the light.
Come in, Bowen. Sit down.
Over there.
You want to smoke? Here's the light. You want to talk to us this morning? You're not doing yourself any good this way, Bowen.
We checked your apartment, Bowen, found a set of tools our crime lab says are the ones used in the Hendricks job.
We can put you in the front room of the house. You're dead, Bowen. Why don't you admit it? This is the first time you've been nailed for anything big. You go along with us, and the judge might take it into consideration. If we have to write it up this way, he's liable to throw the book in your face.
Who was with you on the job, Bowen?
We know you didn't swing it alone. Somebody had to carry the light.
Come on, who was?
All right, what about the loot? Where's that?
That stuff's not going to do you any good in the joint.
There's over $200,000 in furs and jewelry missing. We know you had it. Now, where is it?
How about it, Bowen? You're just causing yourself a lot of grief.
Okay, let's go. On your feet. Come on.
Too bad, Cop.
Is that so?
Sure. There's nothing you can do to make me tell where the stuff is, not a thing.
Sure.
You're never going to find out where it is. Never.
Well, it really doesn't make a lot of difference. You're never going to use it. 3 weeks previously, on February 10th, two unidentified persons had entered a home in the Bel Air district. They'd taken furs and jewelry valued at over $200,000. The investigation conducted by burglary detail had netted one of the suspects. He was identified as Cade Bowen, WMA, 32 years. His arrest record had listed several charges of drunk driving and disturbing the peace. However, he'd never been picked up on a felony before. In spite of our efforts, we'd been unable to break him down. He refused to identify the other suspect or to tell us where we could recover the stolen goods. All of his friends and relatives were questioned. None of them could aid us. The case on him was prepared for the district attorney's office, and we continued to look for the other suspect. Monday, March 7th, 8:02 a.m., I checked into the squad room.
That you, Joe?
Yeah.
Now you're late.
A couple of minutes here. I got it. Burglary Friday. Oh, yeah, Emery. Mm-hmm. Sure. No, not a sign of it. Well, we'd like to hear it anyway. Where can we meet you? Where? Yeah, all right. We'll be right over. About 5 minutes. Right. Goodbye. It was Emery.
Who?
Emery Docks says he wants to see us.
What about?
Some stolen fur coats. Frank and I left the office and drove over to see the informant. We found him in Pershing Square watching a checker game.
Just a minute, Joe. I'll be with you.
All right.
No, not that one. Always does it. Okay, let's go. Always the same with that guy.
Is that right?
Yeah, always the same. Set him up that way and he'll jump. As soon as he does, game's over. He can't see it, but it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Real pigeon for the setup. We can sit over there and talk.
You know my partner, don't you, Emery?
Yeah, sure. Hi.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Guess you can't win them all. We can sit there.
What do you want to see us about?
Oh, fell over something day before yesterday. Thought maybe it'd make sense for you.
Mm-hmm.
Met a guy who had some coats for sale. Price he was quoting had to be hot.
Where'd you meet him?
Bar over on First.
See a friend?
Not to make a touch. I see him in the bar once in a while, but he don't ever buy a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Other night he got real palsy-walsy. I don't know, maybe he was gassed or something. But he sure was friendly.
You met him in the bar?
Yeah, he stopped in to have a belt before I ate. This guy was there, sitting on the stool next to me. Got to talking. He almost knocked me over when he bought a drink. Right on the floor he knocked me.
Mm-hmm.
one thing led to something else. He asked what I was doing. I said, oh, just about anything to turn a buck. He asked me if I had any money I wasn't using. I said I didn't.
Yeah.
He said it was too bad. He said if I could raise a couple of long bills, he could turn me on to something good.
The coats, huh?
Yeah. Told me how a friend of his came up with these fur coats, wanted to dump them, said the price was real good.
What kind of coats were they?
Mink, full length. Got a couple of those scarf things, too. He said they were Stone Martin or something, where the skins look like they're biting each other.
Yeah.
Like those, Stone Martin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Guy made a big thing about how the price was right, and if I had any loot, I could come out with a big thing.
Did he say where his friend got them?
No. Matter of fact, I don't think there was a friend. Coats were in his car. I know if I had that kind of merchandise, I wouldn't put it in nobody else's pocket, that's for sure.
What's this fellow's name, do you know?
Jarvis Dean.
D-E-A-N?
I guess so.
What do you know about him?
Well, not much. I told you I see him around. He's an angle fella, always looking for a touch.
Did he hold any kind of a job?
Not so it would stand out.
How's he live?
Oh, off other people mostly. Once in a while he makes a big score and he's popping for drinks all over the place. A couple of days he's blown the wad and he's back on the dole.
You know where you can find him?
I can't give you no address.
Usually around the bar?
Mostly. You won't find him there for a couple of days now, though. You said something about going out of town, down to Palm Springs. Something about how he could make a contact down there and unload the coats.
This Jarvis Dean ever been arrested?
Well, I don't know. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about jails. Figures, though.
What do you mean?
The way he talks, some of the people I've seen him with, 6'2" and even, they can draw your floor plan of the laundry up at you.
Can you give us the name of the people?
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'd rather not. They ain't done nothing to me, and I'd like to keep it that way. Some of them are pretty mean.
Yeah.
You understand, it isn't that I'm afraid, but I don't see no reason to stir nothing up.
Does Dean say where this contact was at Palm Springs?
Oh, he mentioned some bar called Spanky's, that's all.
In the town itself?
Yeah, I guess so. When I couldn't spring the money to go with him, he kind of cooled off. He stopped being real friendly. I got to thinking about it and figured maybe it'd mean something to you, so... Well, the guy goes around with a couple of grand furs in his car. He didn't win him in a raffle. Got to be something there. Do you any good?
Yeah, we'll check it.
When I first heard about it, I thought it'd do some good right away. I thought of you guys right away.
Yeah.
Always like to try and help when I can. No, it works out both ways. Maybe you can give me a hand sometime. You know, like now?
What?
I could sure use a couple of bucks. Things ain't been going too good.
No, that's too bad.
It's just temporary. It won't last. A couple of days, I got a job coming up. Hotel over on Wilshire. Pearl diving. Guy's been drafted, and I'm in line for the job in just a couple of days.
Well, I've only got a couple of bucks, Emery. You can have them if it'll help.
Sure, Joe. Anything at all.
There you are.
Thank you. Hey, you got a pencil?
For what?
Pencil. Got one I can use?
Yeah, here.
I always like to keep these things legal. You never know.
Yeah.
There you are. My IOU. Pay you back as soon as I start to work.
Well, don't worry about it, Emery.
No. You gotta do these things up legal.
Can you tell us what this guy Dean looks like?
Yeah, you think there's really something to it, huh?
We'll check it.
Well, sure figures he stole the coats, and any reason he'd want to give them away if he didn't. Guy like that, he don't do nothing for nothing. Got to be a payoff some ways.
Well, then he won't be disappointed.
Huh?
There'll be one. Frank and I got the description of Jarvis Dean and the car he was driving, then we returned to the office. We had the name run through R&I, and we found a record. The mugshot was pulled and shown to Emery Docks. He said it was the man who tried to sell him the coats. We put out a local broadcast and an APB on the suspect and his car. 11:25 a.m. Cade Bowen was questioned again, but he refused to give us any information on whether or not Dean was his accomplice in the burglary. At 2:30 that afternoon, Frank and I met with Captain Bernard in his office.
You think it's the Hendricks loot?
Should be. We've checked around. There haven't been any other thefts that are covered.
Got the list?
Yeah, here.
Thanks.
Now, you can see right there, Skipper. 2 mink coats, 1 Stone Martin scarf.
What about the jewelry?
Well, he didn't say anything about it. Doesn't mean it's not there.
What about this bar in Palm Springs you mentioned?
Spanky's?
Yeah. You know anything about it?
We know where it is.
What kind of place is it?
Resort town bar.
What about the reputation?
Clean. We never had any reports about it.
You think that's where they'll turn the stuff?
Well, we don't know. All we got's the name.
Someplace to look. One we've had.
You can't get anything out of Bowen?
He won't even admit he's in Los Angeles.
What's he got to say about the evidence?
Just sits and looks at it.
And Palm Springs is the only lead you got?
That's it.
Okay, trot it down. Can you leave right away?
I can. How about you, Smith?
Just call Faye.
That's it, then. Go on down there, see what you can find out. Be sure to check with their department. They might have something for you.
All right.
When'll you be back?
Well, if it works out, it should be sometime in the morning.
Check with me as soon as you get in.
Yeah.
Fella Dean got a record?
Yeah, assault 211.
Sounds like he might be heavy.
Possible.
Well, take it easy.
Yeah.
He's the fellow you're after. He's not going to want to give that stuff up.
Well, that puts it on our backs. We got to convince him. Frank and I went down to the carpool and checked out a trip car. 2 hours later, we pulled into Palm Springs. We talked to the local authorities. They had nothing on Jarvis Dean, and as far as they knew, there was nothing wrong with Spanky's bar. We got the address of the place and drove over.
Yeah, what'll it be?
Police officers would like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, L.A. cops, huh? Something wrong?
I would like to ask you some questions.
Sure. Come on back here. It'll be easier to talk.
All right.
Well, what can I do for you?
I'd like you to take a look at these pictures. Tell us if you know this man.
No, I never saw him.
How about this one?
Sure. Yeah, he's been around.
Is he here now?
No, he doesn't usually make it this early.
You seen him at all today?
He was in this morning around 10 in there.
You know where we can find him?
What's he done?
Police business.
Well, just so it doesn't get anybody here in trouble. That guy's a real crackpot.
What do you mean?
He's lonely. He's good business, but if I had my druthers, I'd just assume he stayed away.
Why is that?
Well, the way he acts. We got a lot of big people coming here. You know, the picture crowd, a lot of money. They like things quiet. They come down here for a rest, and that's what they want. A guy like that fella, they don't help.
Is that right?
Sure, he gets gassed, makes a big noise all about how he's buying drinks for the house. The customers don't like that kind of stuff. The drinks aren't bad enough, but he's got to start a pitch.
What do you mean?
I've been trying to set something up, some kind of a deal.
You know what it is?
No, I don't pay a lot of attention. I just hear him talking to some of the people. Gets any worse, though, I'm going to have to 86 him.
Does he come in alone?
Sometimes.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a chick he brings in once in a while. The two of them just sit there and drink.
You know her?
Why, is she in trouble?
Do you know her?
Yeah, her name is Blanche. She lives down here.
Is she around?
Well, she was.
When?
A half an hour ago. Said she was going out, get something to eat. She'd be back.
You know where she went?
No, half a dozen places inside a block she could have gone. If you want to talk to her, the best thing would be to wait right here.
All right.
She was carrying a real load when she walked out. I hope that food helps her.
He said she lives down here.
Yeah, she's got a place out the south end of town.
What's she do for a living, you know?
Well, I don't know. I don't think she's got a job. Seems I heard her say she was divorced. Probably got a chunk of dough from her old man.
She and this fellow pretty friendly?
You mean the guy in this picture?
Yeah.
I guess you could say that. Most of the time they're together.
How often is he here?
Oh, he comes in the place almost every night, you know, when he's in town.
Is that quite a bit?
Yeah, 3-4 days a week.
You ever hear what he did for a living?
No, I don't think he works steady. Hey, there's your girl now.
Right. What do we drink, huh?
Yeah, Blanche, a couple of fellas here want to talk to you, honey.
Oh, that's all? Bring them on. I always like to talk to fellas. If they're friends of yours, old Bart, I know they're okay.
Yeah, sure, Blanche.
Are these them? Hey, now, they're pretty nice looking. You know that, fellas? You're pretty nice looking.
Wonder if we get to a booth, might be a little easier to talk to you.
Oh, same to you. I'll talk right here. I won't say a thing. What's your name, honey?
Friday.
Say, that's a funny name. Like today, huh?
That's right. It's my partner, Frank Smith.
I do.
Oh, come on now. Don't try to pitch that at me. Smith. A phony if I ever heard one. Hey, Bart.
Yeah, Blanche.
How's that drink? Can't stay here all night, you know.
Do you think you had enough of that?
No. You just keep your big yap shut.
You better take it easy, Blanche.
Take it easy, nothing. Ain't no fellow with a name like Friday and Smith gonna tell me not to have a drink. They're a couple of phonies, that's what they are.
All right,
Phonies.
just settle down now. We're police officers.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, I'm the Queen of Sheba. How do you think of that? Hmm? What do you think of that, Mr. Phony?
Come on, Blanche. You better quiet down.
Don't yell at me, you bartender. If you got any class at all, you keep these mashers out of here. A fine, lousy bar you're running.
Let's go outside, lady.
You just try and take me out there. You come another step, I'll knock your head off.
Blanche, please, honey, take it easy.
All right, miss, you said enough. Now let's go outside.
Oh, sure. You got a big picture of that, me going out there, and you two can gang up on me. No, that's N-O. I ain't going no place with you.
You got it wrong.
I have I? Well, I'll just show you. Police! Police! Somebody help!
We are the police.
You want another call? Help! Police!
Sit down.
All right. I know what I'm like. You don't have to shove me around anymore. Just leave me alone, that's all. Just leave me alone.
You got some hot coffee?
Yeah, sure, I'll get it.
Bring it back to this booth here, will you? Come on, now. Everything's going to be all right, lady.
No, it isn't. Not ever again. Not ever.
All right, sit down there. There's a handkerchief.
I never done anything like that before.
That's all right.
I guess I'm arrested.
Not yet.
I didn't mean anything by it. Nothing. Just I didn't know you guys, and then I was a little drunk. Just all of a sudden I wanted to hit something. That's all. Just hit something. You were handy.
Here's your coffee.
Thanks.
You want cream or sugar?
No, what?
Anything I can do for you?
No, that's all.
I'll be up front if there's.
All right.
Go ahead, miss. Try the coffee. Might make you feel better.
It's hot. I'm too sorry about hitting you.
That's all right.
Really? It's nice of you to say so. What were you going to ask me when all this started?
You want to take a look at this picture here and tell us if you know the man?
Sure. I guess I owe you that. Is the guy?
Yeah, that one there.
Sure, it's Jarvis.
Last name Dean?
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
Guy. Had a couple of drinks with him.
You know where he is?
Not now. Saw him this morning. Had a cup of coffee. Haven't seen him since then.
Is he still in town?
I don't think so.
You know where he is?
No. Said he run up to L.A. on some business.
Did he say what kind of business?
No. We didn't talk much about that.
You got any idea where Dean was going in L.A.?
He didn't give me an address.
Did he say when he'd be back?
That's what we had the beef about. He just shoved off. Said something about meeting the guy up there. Said this fellow's in some kind of trouble and that he had to try and square it.
Did he say who it was?
Let's see. I'm not sure I can remember.
It's pretty important.
Now, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. It was Bowen. Yeah, I had to see a guy named Bowen.
Did he say what it was about?
No. Not that I can remember. He just told me that he and this Bowen guy were on a deal together. Bowen had lost it up. Said he had to take care of him.
The description of Dean's car that the girl gave us matched the one we'd gotten from our informant. We checked the room he'd occupied in Palm Springs. We talked to the local authorities. They agreed to check further on the suspect. Frank and I left for Los Angeles. The following morning, we contacted Captain Bernard.
It all goes together.
Huh?
You better find him fast.
Why, something wrong?
I don't know, but it could happen.
What do you mean?
Bowen was released on a writ last night.
Additional bulletins were gotten out on both men. Bowen's house was put under surveillance, and all of his known hangouts were watched. 2 days passed without word. And then on Thursday, March 10th at 10:57 a.m., Frank and I got back to the office from checking out a lead.
Ready?
Yeah.
Note in the book for you. Important.
Thank you.
What is it?
Supposed to call the sheriff's department.
Wonder what it is.
I don't know yet. We'll find out.
Well, I didn't figure you would, Joe, not until you made the call. Just wondered what it was.
Dave Terry, please. Well, Dave? Joe Friday. No, we haven't. Where? Any idea when that happened? No, we better come over and see you. Right. Bye. We're in trouble.
What do you mean?
I don't know. They found a body out on the desert this morning. Looks like it was a hit and run.
Bowen?
No, Jarvis Dean. Frank and I left the office and went over to the Hall of Justice where we met with Sergeant Dave Terry. He showed us the photographs taken at the scene and the reports filed by the officers who discovered the body. From the appearance, it had been struck by a car traveling at high speed. A thorough search had been made of the area, but no trace of Jarvis Dean's car could be found. There was no apparent explanation as to how he'd gotten out on the desert. Another local and an APB was gotten out asking that Cade Bowen be picked up for questioning on suspicion of murder. A week went by. There was no word of the suspect. Border stations had been alerted in the event he tried to escape into Mexico. Checkpoints at the California-Nevada border had descriptions of both the car and the suspect. Saturday, March 19th, Frank and I got back from the stats office.
Well, it's another dead end.
Yeah.
Where to now?
Well, we can check with the skipper, see if he's got any ideas.
All right.
Come on in.
Where you been? Been looking for you.
Stats office. They just finished a run. They didn't come up with anything.
You don't need it.
Huh?
You got half the country looking for Bowen, and he's in your pocket.
What do you mean?
Main jail. Picked up last night in 502.
Cade Bowen had been picked up the night before at the corner of 7th and Hill Streets. He'd been observed by a radio car driving in an erratic manner and had refused to stop when the officers directed him to. After a 10-block chase, he'd been halted, but when the officers asked to see his identification, he told them he didn't have any. He was taken to the main jail and booked on charges of drunk driving. A check of his fingerprints had revealed his name, and we were notified. His car had been impounded, and the crime lab was going over it. We had the suspect brought to the city hall.
What is it this time? I held up the Federal Reserve?
All right, come off it, Bowen. You know where you're sitting now. This is the last time around for you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You won't hear it again.
Where you been for the last week?
Sleeping.
No, I know. Where?
Any place I could find a soft mattress? Hey, you guys ought to pull some strings and get some new bedding over the main jail. Those bunks are hard.
Sure. You know a man named Jarvis Dean? Jarvis Dean, do you know him?
Might.
That's no answer.
That's the best I can do.
Look, mister, we're getting tired of playing with you. You're in trouble, and it doesn't come in any bigger sizes. Now, I'm not going to tell you to play it smart because you wouldn't know what I was talking about, but you snap to and answer these questions. Now, do you know Jarvis Dean?
I met him.
When'd you see him last?
A couple of weeks ago.
We understand he was with you on the burglary.
It's a fairy tale.
We got it straight.
I didn't know you listened to gossip.
Where'd you get the car you were driving last night?
I bought it.
From who?
Used car dealer.
Well, then you tell us why it's registered to Jarvis Dean, will you?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Last time we talked to you, it was for a burglary beef. It's a lot more serious this time.
That's so.
That's right. Suspicion of murder.
Who'd I kill?
Jarvis Dean.
You're out of your head.
We always are. Now tell us why he let you drive his car.
I don't know if it is his car.
Department of Motor Vehicles says it is.
We checked it. All of the stolen merchandise was found.
Now, you got no right to go through my things.
Last time we heard of the stuff, Jarvis Dean had it.
What's the matter? Did you have a fight about what to do with it?
Maybe you got sore because he was letting you carry the beef yourself. Is that what happened?
Come on, Bowen. You're boxed in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, let's check the office, see if there's any word from the crime lab.
I'll do it then.
Tell you what, cop. You win, I'll tell you.
About Dean?
I don't know anything about him. I'm talking about the burglary.
Yeah.
I did it. You don't have to go any further.
No deal. We got you on something bigger. I think we can make that hold up.
Look, I'm willing to cop out to the others.
How'd you do?
Well, here's the report.
Well, that wraps it up.
Yeah.
All right, Bowen, let's go.
Huh?
We don't have to talk to you anymore. The crime lab just finished going over the car.
Yeah?
They found where you had that fender repaired.
Well, some drunk ran into me.
They checked the springs underneath, found traces of fabric, matched the jacket Dean had on when he was killed.
We got enough to make you on it.
You can't prove I was driving the car, and there's no way you can prove it.
We think we can.
Go ahead. You just take it into court. Try. By the time you get through, the judge and the jury will be laughing.
All right?
Sure, they'll tell you how far out you are. They'll laugh right in your face.
They'll tell you something, too.
Yeah?
And they won't be laughing.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 16th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Cade Neil Bowen was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. On recommendation of the jury, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in the state penitentiary, San Quentin.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. It all started on the bus just outside of Dallas. The sailor who had snored beside me since Memphis got off, and the big fat guy got on. He overflowed into my half of the seat, and for sound effect, he ate one apple after another. He must have bought him by the sack. Hey, fella, do you mind? My top coat? I'd like to have it fresh, but I'd prefer a tailor to do it. I pulled the coat out from under him. He smashed my carton of cigarettes almost flat. From then on, I held the coat in my lap. In my mind, he was symbolic of everything connected with this trip and with my life. Second rate, middle class, mediocre. I was on my way to Hollywood. Yeah, I'm an actor. Under personal contract to Henry Slafta, a big director. Oh, it sounds impressive, but it isn't. One of those insignificant stock contracts with short options and shorter dough. I should have turned it down, but I was flat broke, on my heels. That's why, when I found the money, I did what I did.
Okay, folks, we're stopping here for 15 minutes.
Another stop, chance to stretch. Well, I had a cup of coffee and a spud nut in the depot, and I was starting back to the bus when I saw him, my apple-chewing friend. Two men with cop written all over him were leading him out of the bus. It was a pinch. I wondered why they picked him up. I really didn't care why they took him as long as he didn't come back. Now I had the seat to myself. But he'd done me a final courtesy. He'd knocked my top coat onto the floor and walked on it.
Okay, everybody on, let's go.
From then on into El Paso, he was the topic of conversation.
You look like a criminal to me, my dear. Didn't you hear what the bus driver says? The man's a counterfeiter, one of the smartest ones in the country. The police have been after him for ages. Counterfeiter? How exciting. I must get off at El Paso and send a postcard back to man. Won't you do this bill for me?
Counterfeiter. Well, that's the last thing I would have begged him for.
El Paso.
El Paso. And Hollywood still 24 long hours away. Well, economy or no economy, I wasn't going to go on. I was dead tired, saddle sore from 3 days and nights on that bus. So I switched my ticket to the following day, and I hunted up a cheap hotel. The bellhop there was full of helpful ideas on how I could spend the evening.
Well, how about Juarez, mister?
Juarez, huh?
Yeah, old Mexico, just across the International Bridge.
Oh, yeah. I'd forgotten that this is a border town. No, thanks. I just want to get some sleep.
Sure, mister. It's up to you.
I tipped the kid and stretched out on the bed. I dug in my pocket for a cigarette, but I was out, so I reached into my top coat for the carton. That's when I found it. A package of money. A lot of money. All in 50s and 100s. Nice, clean, fresh bills. I counted them fast. $15,000 worth. So that's why I found my coat on the floor of the bus. Fatso had stashed his homemade money in my pocket. Why, the lousy... I'd fix his wagon, planning it on me. Operator, give me the FB. No, never mind. Wait a minute. Why should I? If I turned it in, I might get involved, and I couldn't afford to. When I got to Hollywood, Hollywood. Boy, what an entrance I could make into that town if all this dough were only real. I could just picture the look on Henry Slafter's face if I flew into Hollywood with a new wardrobe, stopped at the ambassadors, took a suite, made a big splash. Yeah, if only the dough were real. Well, I couldn't sleep now. I was too stirred up, so I took a shower and changed my clothes and went out. I didn't have anything particular in mind, but since the hotel was near the International Bridge, I went over into Juarez. And I wasn't quite sure why I did it, but in my pocket was one of the $50 bills. I went up and down the cheap main drag, sampling tequila and brushing off vendors of Hirachis and leather dolls, just like the rest of the tourists. But all the time, that $50 bill was burning a hole in my pocket. It was in a small bar, a crummy place called El Serape, that I finally took a chance. I'd had a couple of tequila daisies, and each time I'd given the waiter a $50. This time I handed him the $50 bill. I held my breath. Suddenly, I knew I'd been a fool. He didn't put it in the cash register as he had the other money. Instead, he went down to the end of the bar and handed it to a man sitting there, obviously an American. He took it, looked at it, and then had the waiter point me out. I got up out of the booth and started for the street, but the American caught me at the door.
I'm, Chuck Rice. I'm the manager.
Yeah. Hiya.
You give this $50 bill to the waiter?
Yeah. I guess I forgot to wait for my change, huh?
You don't want to go around forgetting money like this. This business?
Yeah, sure.
You know, you're taking a big chance. You're setting yourself up like a pigeon.
Well, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
Don't get excited, amigo. It's border town. That's all. The wrong people might get the idea that you're carrying more bills like this.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Yeah, sure. But if you were, I could put you in touch with most anything. Maybe a little gambling. I could fix you up with a little game. Anything you want to buy, I can get it for you.
No, I don't want to buy anything. But, suppose I wanted to sell something.
Sell? That's a little tough. I'd have to see a sample.
You got it, mister, right there in your hand. I was taking a crazy chance, but I'd kicked around Broadway long enough to know a contact man when I run into one, and Chuck Rice was definitely shady. He stood there scowling, turning the bill over and over in his hands.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to walk out on your change, yeah? Thought I had it spotted. You got more like this?
Yeah.
On you?
No, I'm not that much of a pigeon.
How much more?
Enough.
You want to dump it?
Maybe. With the right kind of a deal.
Here's your 50 back. I don't know if I'm nothing about this kind of commodity.
Well, I didn't pay for the drink.
It's all right, it's in the house. Your money's no good here.
I took the 50 and put it in my pocket. I shrugged and hoped my indifference went over. I was almost to the street when he called after me.
Hey, amigo.
Huh?
I just wondering. How much you got?
Why?
Well, if you got enough, maybe Nieves would be interested.
Nieves? Who's Nieves?
Down here, we don't ask questions like that. You go to the cab stand on the corner. Ask for Miguel. Tell him you want to see Nieves. Tell him Chuck Rice sent you. Only this time, amigo, if you want to do business, you better have the dough on you.
Miguel. Hey, I'm talking to you. What's the idea? You keep going around in circles.
Can't sabe, senor.
Can't sabe my foot. I want to go to Nieves.
Si, senor, si, Nieves.
Well, let's get going. Never mind the sightseeing. Miguel was driving down dark back alleys and dirt roads. I couldn't tell which direction we were going, and I'm sure that was the idea. But we were getting further and further out of town. I was beginning to wish I didn't have the money on me. I hadn't gone back to the hotel for it when Miguel suddenly pulled off the road into a ruddy gopher-hole courtyard of a broken-down hacienda. It was littered with debris. I stumbled over a peg. His squeals woke a bunch of chickens roosting on a fence. And then I saw it. He was lying in a canvas hammock, one bare foot hanging over the side, deep in the enjoyment of an oversized cigarette. She seemed asleep except for the rhythmic puffs of smoke. She never opened her eyes all the time I was there. You have it? Chuck Rice sent me. He thought we might be able to work out a deal. I got some money. I want to sell it. Chuck Rice said that you might handle it. You hear me?
Yeah.
I got $15,000 American in 50s and 100s.
How much you want?
Well, what'll you give me?
How much?
Well, I figured 5,000 would be fair.
No touch.
What?
Is that all you want? I no touch.
Why?
Too hot.
Well, if you think it's worth more.
No touch.
Okay, no touch. Come on, Miguel.
Si, senor.
Senor,
Yeah.
O'Toole.
What was that?
O'Toole, maybe T-Bye.
O'Toole? Where's O'Toole?
Miguel, no.
Si, senor. Come, I will take you. Well, your English is improving, Miguel. Maybe your sense of direction will improve, too. And it did. As the crow flies, so did we. Straight to O'Toole's Dine and Dance. The gaudy tourist trap hypoed on the outside with neon signs advertising the best food and music in Juarez. While inside, 5 Latin beboppers were making hash out of Embraceable You. Miguel okayed me to a squint-eyed character who reluctantly led me down a hall, up a steep flight of stairs. We stopped in front of a door.
Come in.
Behind a huge red lacquered desk sat a handsome Chinese in a dinner jacket smoking a long black cigar.
Good evening. What can I do for you? Thanks, perhaps?
No thanks. I came to see O'Toole.
Yes? I am O'Toole.
You, O'Toole?
It's one of those tricks of nature. I wear my mother's face and my father's name.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Well, think nothing of it, Mr. Smith?
Yeah. Smith.
Now, you have something you wish to sell?
That's right.
May I see the money?
Money? How did you know?
$15,000, as I understand it. How much do you want for it?
6,000.
You told Nieves. 5.
Nieves?
Oh, you're surprised. I know about that. Huh? Jack Webb always sends them out to the country to see Nieves before they come to me. Now, let me see the money. All of it.
Sure. Here. Look, I'll take the 5.
I'll give you 4.
Oh, now, wait a minute. There's 15,000 there. You won't have any trouble passing it in Mexico.
I know that. I also know that when this kind of money turns up in this part of the world, it means only one thing. I am your last resort. Well, Mr. Smith?
Yeah. Give me the 4,000. He went to the safe, got the money, and paid me. I got out of his office. Well, maybe I should have held out for more, but he gave me the creep. Besides, any way you look at it, 4,000's a lot of money. I could knock Henry Slapper's eyes out with less than that. Downstairs in the club, the floor show was on, when the Adagio team was going through its calisthenics. I was just passing the bar when she bumped into me.
Hello, Charlie.
No, I'm not Charlie.
Sure you're Charlie. You gotta be Charlie.
Go on, beat it.
Come on. Don't be a sucker. We're being watched.
Well, so what am I supposed to do?
Be smart. Buy me a drink.
Look, I told you, I'm not interested.
Interested in getting out of here alive?
What kind of a track is that?
You see Squint Eyes over there by the entrance? Well, he's not the doorman.
Come on, look. What's this all about?
O'Toole. He wants back whatever it is he gave you.
I'll buy you that drink. Come on.
Make it Scotch.
Yeah. Bartender, 2 Scotch and sodas. All right. Now tell me why you're interested.
I'm supposed to knock you out.
You're what?
Those 2 drinks you just ordered. Yours will be loaded. And not with bromo quinine to cure your cold. Ever hear a knockout drop, tourist?
Yeah, sure, but I don't get it. What are you telling me for?
I don't know. Maybe because you're from my side of the border. Maybe because you don't look like the kind of scum that usually comes in this joint.
All right. So my drink's going to be loaded. And Squint Eyes is over to the front door to make sure I don't get away. I don't have much choice, do I?
Yeah, you do. I'm going to help you.
Help me?
After the drink hits you, I'm supposed to get you out the back door into the alley and then roll you.
Well, no, that'll be a big help.
But I'm not going to. Quiet. Here come the drink.
All right, what do I do now?
When I reach around you for the ashtray, they won't be able to see you. Switch the drinks. You drink mine.
Yeah, but how about
they
you?
They don't expect me to drink it.
Yeah, but you...
No, switch them. Get it down. Drink it. In a minute, pretend you're dizzy. I'll help you get to the alley. And when you get there, you better run, brother. And run fast.
off the stool, put my arm around her shoulder. We were almost to the door, almost to the alley. It was just perfect, except for one thing. I was dizzy. My stomach turned over and over, and I passed out cold.
In just a moment, we will continue with Escape. But first, a lot's been said about the Sunday night entertainment on CBS, and rightly so. But take a look down the CBS listings during the entire week, and you'll find there's no let-up in the parade of all-star shows. Tomorrow, Wednesday night, and every Wednesday night, Bing Crosby, Groucho Marx, Burns and Allen, and Gene Hirschholt as the beloved Dr. Christian are heard on most of these same CBS stations. Dick Hames and the Andrews sisters, Jack Smith and Dinah Shore are also on hand in their early evening quarter-hour programs. Make a habit of listening to CBS all through the week. And now we return you to the second act of Escape.
The smells were the same. Beer, tequila, stale black tobacco. But the sound had changed. There'd been music before. My stomach burned and my head throbbed. Somebody was lying across me. I raised up, tried to focus my eyes, but I couldn't. Gradually, I placed the sound. Some kind of a car. Bus? No, a truck. I was lying on the floor in the back of the truck, and there was a man lying across me. From the stench of him, he must have been drunk for a week, but from the inert way he lay, he could have been dead. I pushed him off and shoved him. Where are we going? What is this? Hey, come on, wake up, will you? Listen to me. Then I suddenly remembered the money. The $4,000. It was gone. I was clean broke. I'd been rolled all right, and by a dame who even told me before she did it. Then I saw the rest of them. The truck was a big van, and it was loaded, packed with a drag to border town, a sodden human cargo. All of them filthy, bleary-eyed. But one of them looked awake and reasonably sober. Hey, you over there. You speak English?
Si, senor.
Well, what happened? What are we doing here?
Oh, we all fall drunk, senor. Oh, it's no good to fall drunk. Oh, you go to Hendler.
Hendler?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Oh, caray. No es bueno. Oh, I have been there before. I should know not to fall drunk. Oh, one whole month I have been there. Ese lugar es muy feo.
You've been where before? Where are they taking us? Tell me.
To Hendler. Oh, he's a very bad man.
Hensler? Well, who's Hensler?
Oh, you go to see, senor. You will see.
That's all I could get out of him. We were going to Hensler's, and it wouldn't be good. And it sounded like I was about to find out.
All right, you guys. Come on. The party's over. Hey, fellas. Move these trips along again. Come on. You guys don't look like no bunch of daisies, but we'll make you bloom, won't we, Miller?
He was a brute of a man, and he carried a .45 in a holster. He and the driver, Miller, herded us out of the truck like so many cattle. It was some sort of a road gang. I saw a sign blocking the road that read, Under Construction, Hensler Construction Company. Well, I had no idea where we were, how far away from the border. The landscape was dry, dusty, barren.
Well, Gonzalez, you with us again? Didn't we learn you not to get drunk, huh? Come on, you guys. Step on it.
All right, quit shoving.
Come on, come. Hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know.
Hello! How many times I got to tell you to be careful who you pick up?
Now, wait a minute, Jay. Don't get stirred before I tell you.
Don't you know we can get in plenty of trouble picking up the wrong guy?
I didn't pick him up. O'Toole threw him in.
O'Toole?
Shut up, you. What O'Toole wish him on us for? Little Hensler hears about that.
Well, O'Toole has already talked with Hensler. He says this fellow will not give us any trouble. He is an embezzler. The police are looking for him.
You're crazy.
He came across the border to sell some money he had stolen from a bank or something. He must be plenty hot. He was willing to drop 15,000 real dough for 4,000 cash.
Real dough? What are you talking about? That was counterfeit I sold O'Toole.
Listen, buddy, I don't know what your racket is, but nobody fools O'Toole about money.
But it can't be real money. It was counterfeit, I tell you. It had to be. Look, I want to see Hensler.
You talk to me or you talk to nobody?
But I got to see Hensler. I got to get back to Juarez.
Huh? You hear that, Miller? He's got to get back to Juarez.
All right, look, you can't push me around. I'm an American.
Oh, he's an American. Well, send this to your congressman. Okay, American. Get on your feet. Get a pick and start working.
Hensler Construction Company. Just another name for a chain gang. I never saw Hensler. He wasn't there. But in the next week, I got to know Jake all right. I got to hate him. He drove us from dawn till dark, digging a road bed by hand, pick and shovel, in the hot sun, in the dust, without rest. But worse than the physical torture was the fuss that gave me no rest. I'd sold O'Toole real money. For now I realized I'd never really had any proof that the fat man was a counterfeiter. I just jumped to that conclusion. The bus driver... No, not the bus driver. A woman on the bus said that the bus driver said it, and it drove me crazy just thinking about it. Real money. $15,000. I'd had it in my hand and I'd thrown it away. I had to escape. I had to. There'd been a man in the truck who said he'd been here before, so he must have gotten away somehow. He could help me. You're the man that was here before?
I am Gonzalez.
All right, you got away the other time, didn't you?
Yes. But I am back. And this time I don't try to go.
Well, how did you go? How'd you get out?
There is a highway.
There is? Where?
4 miles, 5 miles. Many cars pass there.
There's 4 or 5 miles. That's nothing.
Oh. Maybe it sounds nothing to you, senor. But those are bad miles to go. Oh, caray.
Only 4 or 5 miles. Over that way, he told me. Through the ravine. Well, I thought about it all that day, and I planned that I'd try it that night. But when we got back to camp, I was too dog-tired even to eat. I just flopped on the hard earth and fell asleep. Seemed that I'd just closed my eyes when I was shaken awake.
Hey.
Huh?
Hey. Get up, American. Get on your feet.
Huh?
I got a little job for you.
Oh, leave me alone, Jake. I'm tired.
Get up! You're on overtime.
He was murderously drunk. He had a bottle of whiskey in one hand and his .45 in the other. So I got up off the ground. All around me, the men were sleeping. If they heard him, they didn't pay any attention. He marched me down to the road bed and threw a pick at me.
There. Now start digging.
But it's the middle of the night. Look, I'm dead.
You gotta finish the road. Start digging, I said.
What are you picking on me for, Jake? Why me?
You're gonna start digging? Well, I start shooting.
So I dug. I dug till my hands were bleeding and my lungs were scalded with the effort of breathing. He sat alongside the road, knocking off that fist of whiskey and riding me every time I faltered. He was just mean drunk enough to kill me if I stopped. So I dug and I dug. Finally, I couldn't go on anymore. I was too tired to care. I dropped the pick and fell onto the road. My face was in the dirt. I lay there, panting, waiting for the bullet. When it didn't come, I turned my head, and what I saw gave me new life. Jake was sprawled out, dead drunk, and the .45 had slipped from his hand onto the ground. It was my chance. I hardly had enough strength left to move, but I knew if I didn't go then, it'd be too late. I'd never get away. I crawled over to him, and I got the gun, and somehow I got down the road and through that ravine, stumbled and crawled those hideous miles to the highway. And then I heard it, way down the road. With a car. I ran it like a madman and flagged it down.
On to you, sir?
Give me a ride, will you?
Oh, you're American, huh? Going back to the States?
Yeah.
Well, hop in.
I leaned back against the seat, shut my eyes, and slept all the way into Juarez.
Well, here you are. You said O'Toole's dine and dance. Sure I can't wait for you?
No, thanks just the same, but I got some business to take care of.
Okay. Good luck.
$15,000 worth of business, and Jake's .45 in my pocket to guarantee the deal. I went around to that back door and slipped in quietly, and then crept down the hall and up the stairs that Squint-Eyes had led me before. This time I entered O'Toole's office without knocking. Hello, O'Toole.
Oh.
I didn't expect you back so soon. Sit down. Can I get you something?
Yeah, you can. $15,000.
Afraid I don't understand. We made a deal.
Why didn't you tell me the money was real, not counterfeit, huh?
Well, you seem to know what you were doing, and remember, you placed the value on the money. I did not.
Yeah, well, I've just revalued it. I want it back, all of it.
We made a deal, and I paid you, and I'm through with you.
And you owed me.
How you lost the money I paid you is no concern to me.
All right, then look, then maybe this will be some concern to you. I took enough punishment to get this gun not to hesitate to use it. Now get the money while you're still alive.
Ah, that won't be necessary. How about 10,000?
Well, don't stall. 15.
But I should be allowed to realize some profit.
Hurry up, O'Toole. I haven't got all day.
I'll have to open this.
Then open it.
Will you take it in 10 and 20?
Now, look, you, I don't care how you give it to me, so long as it's American money. Now, quit stalling and get it. I didn't trust him. I expected any minute he'd pull something fast, but he didn't. He gave it to me. I never realized before the power of a gun. It makes short men tall and tall men strong.
Here you are.
Thanks. Now I could fly to Hollywood and have that suite at the Ambassador and throw a cocktail party, a big party. I'd show him. First, I stopped at the best men's shop in Juarez and got myself outfitted. An imported English tweed suit, cashmere topcoat, couple of dozen shirts. I threw away my old clothes.
There will be something else, senor.
I'll take that alligator suitcase, too.
Si, senor, but you must remember when you go through customs, you must declare the clothes you are wearing. I have to report the
Oh, sure, don't worry. And these neckties?
Si, senor.
I paid him with more than I'd spent on clothes in 10 years. I put $500 in my wallet and stashed the rest of the money away in my suitcase. Then I went to the American Club for a good dinner. Now I was all set to make my entrance. All I needed was a plane reservation for Hollywood. I was just going through customs when he ran up.
Stop it.
It was the clerk from the men's shop gesturing wildly. The customs official listened, and then he came back to me.
I'm sorry, sir, but I have to detain you.
What?
Your wallet, if you please.
Oh, wait, I didn't buy the wallet from you.
If you please, sir, give it to me.
Okay, but it's just an American Hickok wallet, I tell you.
I'm not interested in the wallet itself, sir. Now, we shall see.
There. You see? I tell you, look, all of it. What are you guys doing with my money?
You admit this is your money, mister?
Of course it is.
Then I'm sorry, you'll have to come with me.
Why?
Because, mister, all the money in your wallet is counterfeit.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Border Town by John and Gwen Bagney. Featured in the cast were Jack Webb as Evan, Bill Conrad as Jake, Ben Wright as O'Toole, Tony Barrett as Bryce, and Jeanette Nolan as Nieves. Also heard were Ted DeCorsia, Paul Frees, Bea Benaderet, Jerry Hausner, and Harry Bartell. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week.
You are on a train from Rajahor to Calcutta. With you is a fabulous jewel, the most sought-after emerald in the world, in whose depths are mirrored terror and violence. And for you, there is no escape.
It's a proven surefire formula for better living. If we all work together to produce more per man, per machine, per hour, we all move together toward the benefits in living that are possible only under the American economic system. The better we produce, the better we live. For your free copy of the booklet, Miracle of America, write Box 10, Times Square Station, New York. Stay tuned now for Hit the Jackpot, which follows immediately over most of these stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
10 p.m. BULOVA Boulevard Watch time for a truly exquisite Christmas gift. Choose the Boulevard Miss America, only $33.75. Time now for a new secret saying and a new jackpot of prizes topped off by a four-door sedan. Time now for Bill Cullen and Hit the Jackpot. WCBS AM and FM.
Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to juvenile detail. You get a report that a teenage boy has been found in a downtown alley. He's in critical condition. Your job? Check it out.
It was Wednesday, November 16th. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of juvenile detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Powers. My name's Friday. We're on our way into the office, and it was 9:17 p.m. when we got to the second floor of Georgia Street Juvenile. Squad room.
I don't know, Joe.
What?
You see a kid like that, you start wondering.
Yeah.
15 years old, trying to hold up a liquor store. Kind of worries the guy.
What do you mean?
What about your own kids? How are they going to turn out?
Well, most of them turn out okay.
Yeah, can't help worrying, though.
Well, you're a father.
Maybe you're better off, Joe, not having the worries.
You really believe that?
Well, I guess so.
Well, why don't you stop trying to marry me off?
Oh, say, that reminds me.
Yeah.
You know the Phillips, live down the street from us?
I don't think I do.
They were over for dinner the same night you were.
No.
Last summertime, Faye made fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Remember it?
I remember the chicken. Go ahead.
You're going to spend Christmas with us, aren't you?
Christmas.
Faye told me to be sure and remind you. It's only a month or so off.
That's soon.
Yeah. Can we count on you?
Yeah, if we're not working.
Swell. I'll let Faye know.
What's this got to do with the Phillips?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got nothing to do with them, Joe. Why are you so darn suspicious?
Which one of them has the sister?
Huh?
Come on, Mr. and Mrs. Which one?
Both of them, for all I know.
Well, which one has a sister who's coming out here for the holidays? Which one?
Mrs. Phillips.
And they're all going to be at your place for Christmas dinner, is that it?
Well, Faye hasn't asked them yet. She wanted to be sure that you...
Mm-hmm.
Okay to ask them?
They're your friends.
You won't regret it, Joe. You know Mrs. Phillips is darn nice looking. Good talker to her for sisters, anything like
Just
she
do
is.
me one big favor, will you?
What's that?
Christmas is still 5 weeks away. Don't start selling me now.
I wouldn't try to sell you on any girl. You know that.
You bet.
I never even met this one. I was just thinking that sometimes you can kind of sort of judge a person by family and...
Juvenile Friday. Where's that? I see. Yeah. Found a kid lying in an alley off Sheridan Street. He's hurt pretty bad.
An accident?
Knife in his back. Frank and I drove out to the address where the victim had been found. It was a dark alley that opened onto Sheridan Street in the block between 5th and 6th. An ambulance had been called, and the boy had already been moved to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. 9:42 p.m. We talked to one of the patrol car officers who had discovered the body.
We're only a couple of blocks away. We headed right over.
Where'd you find him?
Yeah, I'll show you. Right here against that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Must have lost a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Knife still in him?
Mm-hmm. Small of the back. Looked like he'd been beat up, too.
You say anything about who did it?
Well, he mumbled something. We couldn't understand him, and then he passed out.
How old would you say he was?
Oh, 15, 16, maybe.
Uh-huh.
He's a good-looking kid, about 5'8", black hair, blue eyes, regular features.
What kind of clothes?
Had jeans and a jacket, windbreaker type.
See anybody around who might have done it?
No, not a soul. The street was deserted.
Mm-hmm.
My partner's out looking now. I'll give him a hand.
All right.
Who filed a complaint?
I don't know.
Well, we checked the board.
I'm afraid that won't help. Well, they don't know either.
While a patrol car officer searched the neighborhood for suspects, Frank and I canvassed the area for the person who had reported the crime. 10:16 p.m. We talked to the patrons in the nearby bar and grill. They denied having any knowledge of the assault. 10:42 p.m. We entered a small tobacco shop on the corner of Sheridan and 8th.
Evening, gents.
How are you, sir?
Hi. What can I do for you?
We're police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Sam Crest here.
Mr. Crest?
Something troubling you fellas?
I'd like to talk to you for a minute, that's all.
Done anything I shouldn't?
No, sir, not as far as we know.
Well, you never can tell, you know. The way they keep making up new laws nowadays, a person can be a criminal without even half trying.
Mm-hmm.
Too many rules. That's what's wrong with this country. Too darn many rules.
Yes, sir.
Ought to be just one.
How's that?
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Golden rule. That ought to be more than sufficient.
Yeah.
Don't work out that way, though. Man could live up to it every day of his life and still wouldn't keep him out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
Golden rule don't say nothing about paying income taxes or taking out licenses or filing Social Security reports. Well, does it?
No, doesn't seem to.
But you're in jail if you don't do them.
Yeah.
Man can live by the golden rule, don't make no difference.
It makes a difference.
Oh, some maybe, but not enough.
Have you been here all evening, Mr. Crest?
Since supper time.
When was that?
6:30. Eat at the drugstore over on Soto Street. Stop serving food at 7.
I see, sir.
What time did you get back to the store, do you remember?
Oh, 5 odd, maybe.
And you've been here ever since?
Sure. You ain't doubt my word.
No, sir.
I tell the truth, you know.
Yes, sir.
I may not get all of my government forms figured out right, but I'm a truthful man.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody suspicious come in here tonight?
Suspicious?
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid you'll have to explain that. You see, I ain't no policeman. Folks don't look suspicious to me. They just look like folks.
Well, any strangers, then?
Sure, lots of strangers. 8 or 10, maybe.
I see.
Strangers to me, leastways. I don't get acquainted with folks easy. Man comes, buys a pack of cigarettes or some tobacco. Don't make him a friend.
Well, now, sir, most of tonight's customers been in before.
Oh, some of them had, yeah. Some of them hadn't. I don't keep track.
I see.
Did you hear anything out on the street?
Traffic. Folks walking by. You fellas sure ain't very specific.
Well, anything like a fight?
Front of my place?
In the neighborhood.
Well, I didn't hear no fight. Somebody get to mixing it up?
Looks that way.
Oh, yeah, that's the trouble with this world. People always squabbling. Wherever you go, whatever you do, it ends up in squabbling. Who was it?
We don't know yet.
Anybody hurt?
Yes, sir.
Well, probably brung it on himself.
Maybe.
Were there any youngsters hanging around your place tonight, Mr. Crest?
Youngsters?
Teenagers?
Well, if there was, I didn't notice them. Kids, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, I just don't know what we're coming to.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sure. All right.
Good night, sir.
There was one.
How's that?
One young fella. He didn't hang around, though. He was in a big rush.
You know him?
No, I don't think I ever saw him before.
Could you describe him for us?
Oh, just an ordinary kid.
How big was he?
Oh, not big. He come up to about here on me.
Mm-hmm.
Probably don't have his full growth yet.
I see. You recall how he was dressed?
Well, I didn't pay much attention, only in the shop a couple of minutes.
What color was his hair?
Light, reddish, or blondish.
Nice-looking boy?
Oh, no better or worse than most.
What time did you see him?
Must be nearly a couple of hours ago, along about 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Come charging in all out of breath.
Yeah.
Asked if I had a phone. I pointed out the booth over there in the corner.
Go ahead.
Well, there's nothing more to tell. He run over to the booth, made a call. Wasn't on the phone more than a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Then he come out and left the shop.
Anything else you can tell us about him?
I don't think so, no. Except that when he was leaving...
Yeah.
He wasn't in a hurry like when he come in. He sort of peered out the door first.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed as though all the steam had gone out of him. He looked back over his shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Doggonest expression on his face.
What do you mean?
Like he was scared to death.
While we're in the tobacco shop, we telephoned Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and talked to Dr. Sebastian. He told us that the victim was in a critical condition and had been moved to General Hospital. He also told us that they'd not been able to identify the boy. We called General and asked to be notified when he was able to talk. 11:31 p.m., Frank and I went back to the office. Homicide was notified. The patrol car officers who had discovered the body reported that they had not found any suspects in the vicinity of the crime. 11:46 p.m., we checked with the crime lab. An examination of the weapon had revealed no useful fingerprints. It was a spring blade knife with an 8-inch blade. 12:02 a.m., Frank and I went off duty, and another team of detectives continued the investigation. The next morning, Thursday, November 17th, 8:12 a.m.
Morning, Joe.
Hi.
Anything new?
No, not so far.
How about missing persons?
Nobody's reported them.
It's funny. You'd think somebody'd be looking for him by now, his folks or somebody.
Yeah, you would.
Mm-hmm. Any coffee and that thing?
Yeah, help yourself.
All right.
Probably cold by now.
Better than nothing.
Did you miss breakfast?
Yeah, I wasn't hungry.
Oh.
Oh, you're right.
Huh?
It's cold.
Yeah.
Say, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
About Christmas.
What about it?
Well, we won't invite Mrs. Phillips' sister if you don't want us to.
Mm-hmm.
No. I got thinking last night people shouldn't force a guy to get married and raise a family if it's against his best judgment.
Well, who's getting married and raising a family? It's just a Christmas dinner, huh?
Yeah, but you know Faye.
Well, you know me. I got it. Juvenile Friday. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Thank you very much. General Hospital, the boy's coming, too.
Yeah? We talked to him?
Yeah, for a minute or two. We better get a move on.
Oh?
Doc said to hurry. Frank Frank and I drove out to General Hospital. The doctor in charge of the case was waiting for us in the hall outside the patient's room.
Mr. Friday?
Yes, sir. Is it all right to go in?
Don't stay too long.
All right.
You going to be all right, Doc?
It's too soon to tell. If the wound was an inch higher, I could give you an answer.
Yeah?
You'd be dead.
We went on into the room. The shades were drawn, and the victim was in semi-darkness. His eyes were open, but he closed them as soon as he saw us enter.
How you feeling, son? Son?
I'm okay.
I'd like to talk to you for a couple of minutes.
No way of stopping you, is there?
What's your name, son?
What's yours?
Smith, Frank Smith. My partner's Joe Friday.
Cops?
That's right. Well?
Well, what?
How about telling us who you are?
I forgot.
Oh.
You know, amnesia.
Yeah.
How'd you get hurt, kid?
Forgot that, too.
We're trying to help you, son.
Not my fault if I don't remember nothing.
You know you're pretty sick.
Sure.
But it's not amnesia.
You a doc?
No.
And you tell what's wrong with me.
Who knifed you?
Now, what happened?
Come on, what's your name?
Abraham Lincoln. You guys can call me Abe.
All right, we'll find out.
Go ahead.
What were you doing on Sheridan Street last night?
That where I was?
You want him to get away with it?
Who?
The fellow that stuck a shiv in your back?
Now, who'd do a thing like that?
That's what we want you to tell us.
Hey, you know what?
Hmm?
It's all starting to come back to me.
Tell us about it.
There was this black sedan, see?
Mm-hmm.
Great big job.
Yeah.
I was walking along the street, sedan pulled up beside me, 12 guys jumped out.
Yeah.
Told you it was a big job.
Mm-hmm.
6 of them tried to grab me.
All right, that's enough.
But you want to know what happened? They was all wearing masks.
I said that's enough.
Sure.
Now, you listen to me, son. We're going to find out who you are and who stabbed you.
Sorry I ain't in a position to offer a reward.
You want your face in all the newspapers?
What for? I ain't important.
I said we're going to find out who you are. Well?
Okay, if you want to play detective.
Let's have it.
Tom.
Tom what?
Marcotte.
Where do you live?
Diamond Street.
What number?
Apartment house, corner of Diamond Olympics, second floor in the back.
Now, suppose you tell us what happened last night.
Guy jumped me, that's all I know.
Who was he?
I don't know. I never saw him before.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
What did he look like?
I don't know. It was dark.
Somebody your own age?
Heck no.
How old was he?
30, 35.
Why'd he pick you?
I don't know. Must have thought I had some dough.
You never saw him before.
That's what I said.
How tall was he?
I don't know.
Did you get a look at his face?
Uh-uh.
Can you tell us anything about him?
Nope.
But you know how old he was.
I got a feeling, that's all.
Yeah.
Where do you go to school?
Taylor High.
What year?
10th.
Any gangs in your school?
I don't know.
You don't belong to one, do you?
Nope.
You had any kind of trouble lately?
What kind of trouble?
With the other kids at the school.
Didn't you guys get anything straight? It wasn't a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you live with, Martha?
My old man.
Where's your mother?
Under a tombstone.
We'll get in touch with your dad.
What for?
He might be worried about you.
Want to bet?
We're unable to get any additional information from the victim. We went back to the office and checked the name Tom Marcotte through R&I. They had nothing on him. 9:47 a.m. Frank and I drove out to the address he'd given us. It was a 2-story stucco apartment house, badly in need of repair. We went up the second floor.
Must be this one.
Yeah.
I don't hear anybody.
Take it easy, will you? All right. What's all the pounding for?
Marcotte?
Yeah?
We're police officers. Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Well, what do you want?
Come in for a minute?
If you don't, I'm going to fall flat on my face. Oh, boy. My head's coming apart in shreds. Kind of tied one on last night.
That's so.
Haven't got an aspirin, have you?
No, sir.
Right not. Can of beer?
No.
That's what I really need. Usually keep a couple in the refrigerator for an emergency like this. But that kid of mine's been guzzling them again.
We'd like to talk to you about your son, Mr. Marcotte.
Yeah?
You know he didn't come home last night.
Didn't he?
Nope.
No way of me knowing it. I work nights, drive a hack, don't get home before 4 or 5. He leaves for school before I wake up.
I see.
What'd you pick him up for?
He's not under arrest.
Huh?
He's in the hospital.
Hospital?
That's right. He was stabbed last night.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's going to be all right, ain't he?
They don't know yet.
Oh.
We thought you might be able to help us.
Help you?
Yeah. Find out who did it.
You know who your son's friends are?
I don't know nothing about him. We aren't very close.
Has he been worried lately about anything? Upset?
No more than usual.
How's he doing in school?
Lousy.
Oh.
They always ask me to come down and talk to him. Principal, his teachers.
What do they say about him?
I don't go. I went a couple of times when he first came to live with me. Didn't do any good.
That's so.
I can't change him. Anything I tell Tom just rubs him the wrong way. So he's on his own.
How long has your son lived with you?
3 years.
How about before that?
He was with his mom.
Yeah.
She divorced me a couple of years after he was born. Took him with her.
Mm-hmm.
When she died, there was nobody else to look after him. He had to come back to me.
Yeah.
I got to get me a glass of water. Only take a second.
Yeah.
Looks like the kid was right.
Huh?
About his father.
Maybe.
He doesn't seem very upset.
No.
He's got to stop his drinking.
Yeah.
Never used to feel like this when I was younger.
Is that right?
We'd go on a bath for 2-3 days, come out of it and feel okay. Can't take it anymore.
Well, sir, we'll be leaving. If you'd like to see your son, he's at General Hospital.
Tom asked to see me?
He's pretty sick, Market.
You talked to him, didn't you?
That's right.
He asked to see me?
No, he didn't.
Didn't think so. I guess I can't blame him for hating me. He figures I didn't want him after his ma died. Figured I had to take him.
Yeah.
Tried to tell him different. He didn't believe me. We just can't talk, Tom and me.
Mm-hmm.
Father and son living in the same apartment. Like we speak a different language. Think I ought to go down and see him?
Well, that's up to you.
Being asked for me. It's funny. Live with somebody who hates you, your own son.
Well, maybe you're wrong about him.
Yeah, see it in his face, his eyes, the way he talks. Every time I look at him, I can see it. Tom's the one who's wrong.
Yeah.
It's not his fault, but he's wrong. You wouldn't believe it on a stack of Bibles. Even you guys don't.
What's that?
That I love him.
Frank and I drove out to the Taylor High School on Grand Avenue. 10:57 a.m. We interviewed the principal, James Wingor. He told us that Tom Market was a poor student and that he was difficult to manage. He also told us that the boy had a good mind and was capable of much better work than he performed. He was unable to throw any light on the knifing and suggested that we talk with the victim's homeroom teacher, Miss Nora Rollins. 11:16 a.m. We interviewed Miss Rollins in a small room which adjoined the principal's office.
I'm supposed to be giving an English examination during this period, Sergeant.
Yes, ma'am. This will only take a couple minutes.
You have a student named Tom Marcotte?
Certainly, he's in my homeroom.
What kind of a boy is he?
Noisy, lazy, impossible to discipline. Similar to a number of the others.
Mm-hmm.
He's absent today, though.
Yes, ma'am, we know.
Something happened to Tom?
He's had an accident.
An accident or a fight?
Why do you say that?
It'll be the first time.
Has he had any fights lately?
Came to school with a cut lip 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Does Tom have any particular enemies?
I really don't know. There are over 75 students in my homeroom. It's a little difficult to know very much about any of them.
Yes, ma'am.
How about friends? Who's he pal around with, do you know?
Nobody in particular, as far as I can tell. No, wait a minute. There's one boy.
Ma'am?
Arthur Jollett.
What does he look like?
Well, he's small, red-haired, almost as troublesome as Tom.
Is he in school today?
I believe so.
Well, ma'am, is there anything else you can tell us about Tom?
No, except that I don't have much hope for him.
How's that?
Well, I've asked his father to come in and see me several times. So far, he's always declined the invitation.
Yeah.
Is Tom badly hurt?
Yes, ma'am, pretty bad.
What was it?
Knife wound.
No. 17 years ago, when I first started teaching, that would have shocked me.
I see.
It was a very naive young lady, Sergeant.
Is that right?
I thought all a person had to do to become a teacher was to take the right courses, get a degree, and a credential.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed such a simple matter. I wanted to teach English literature, so I studied English literature. Shakespeare, Chaucer, Browning, Keats, Shelley.
Yes, ma'am.
As I continue in the profession, I discovered that I omitted one essential course.
What's that?
Judo.
We asked Mr. Wingor if we could interview the student named Arthur Jollett. He asked his secretary to have the boy sent into us.
Sounds like he's the one who called in the report.
Yeah.
Must have been with Marcotte when it happened, huh?
Come in.
You want to see me?
That's right. Come in, son.
You're Arthur Jollett, huh?
Ain't that who you asked for?
Sit down, son. We're police officers. This is Smith. My name's Friday.
You have a friend named Tom Marcotte?
I know him.
Pretty good friend of yours, is he?
He's a friend.
You been with him lately?
When?
Yesterday, day before?
Sure.
Where?
Here. We've got some of the same subjects.
How about after school?
Uh-huh.
You saw him after school, did you?
Night before last.
Last night, too? Where were you last night?
Movie.
Well, who'd you go with?
Went alone.
What movie?
Double bill in Hollywood.
What'd you do afterward?
Hitched a ride home.
Spend any time around Sheridan Street?
Where's that?
You want us to show you?
Huh?
Come on, we'll take you over there.
What for?
I'd like to have you meet a man who runs a tobacco shop in that part of town.
You kidding or something?
Young fella came into his place last night.
So?
The way he described him, it could be you.
You must be blind or something.
Well, let's find out. Come on.
Come on.
Okay, so maybe I was in his neck of the woods. What's the beef?
Your friend Market was around there, too, wasn't he?
Coincidence.
Yeah.
What's the matter with Tom, anyhow?
Why?
He ain't been in school today.
He's in the hospital.
Oh.
Good thing you called us when you did. He might be dead by now.
Who says I called you?
Man who runs the tobacco shop?
How the heck could he tell it? Well, I mean, who I was calling.
All right, Jollop. Give us the whole story now, will you?
What story?
Come on, let's get it over with.
If it's about Tom, ask him.
We're asking you. You want us to take you in?
Of course not.
It's up to you.
Ain't much to tell. Just walking around, Tom and me.
Yeah.
Fellow jumped out from an alley, came at us with a knife.
Go ahead.
Took a swing at Tom. I ducked off.
Yeah.
Called the cops. That's all I know.
Who was it, Jollop?
Your guess is as good as mine.
We don't think so.
Suit yourself.
I thought Tom was a friend of yours.
He is.
Well, we want to know who stabbed him.
What do you expect me to do, dream up a name?
How big was he?
Medium size.
How old?
19, 20.
Tom says he was about 35.
Tom ought to know. He's a lot closer to him.
All right. Let's go down to the juvenile bureau.
Oh, I told you everything I know.
Want to show you some mug shots.
Forget it. I wouldn't recognize his picture.
Let's give it a try anyway.
I'll take it easy, will you?
What's the matter?
I don't want to be seen leaving with you guys.
Is that right?
Wouldn't do my reputation any good.
Who are you afraid of?
I ain't afraid.
The guy who knifed your buddy? Is that who you're afraid of?
Look, if Tom wanted you to know, he'd have told you, wouldn't he? Tom ain't dead.
All right, come on, John. Let's go.
Give me an answer. Is Tom okay or not?
Does that make any difference to you?
Sure, it makes a difference.
It doesn't look like it to us.
I'm no squealer.
All right, you've had your chance. Now you got to go in. Come on.
You can't arrest me.
A boy was stabbed last night. You saw it. As far as we know, you're the only other person who was there. Now you figure it out.
I didn't have nothing to do with it. Tom will tell you so. You throw me in jail, my own man will kill me.
Well, that's tough.
I ain't going to take the rap.
It's up to you.
Okay, it was Jerry.
Jerry who?
Longren.
You go to the school?
Yeah.
What was it all about?
Tom tried to date Jerry's girl. Jerry heard about it. Followed us last night.
I'll get a hold of Longren.
All right.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jerry finds out I squealed on him, he'll do even worse to me. He ain't going to find out, is he?
We won't tell him.
If it tumbles, you can start sending flowers. Jerry's the big man around school.
Yeah.
Or 6 foot, lots of muscle, lots of shove.
Well, that doesn't make him a big man, does it?
Huh?
He needs a knife.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 2nd, a hearing was held in Juvenile Department, Superior Court, State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Petitions were filed on both the victim and the subject. The victim, Thomas Marcotte, was placed under 24-hour supervision in a foster home. The subject, Jerome Longren, due to a previous juvenile record and the viciousness of the attack, was sentenced to a juvenile correctional establishment.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
My name's Regan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Sunday at 8:30, and CBS brings you Jeff Regan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's transcribed story, They've Got More Than Coffee in Brazil.
Her name was Irene Centino. The lady from Brazil, the Lion called her. He figured it for an easy trace job, something for missing persons. Only when we do them, the Lion gets paid. Well, the program said it was simple, except before we wound it up, there were a couple of added attractions. A doctor who didn't do any doctoring, a nurse with a built-in temperature, and a couple of blackouts that were meant to be permanent. And guess what? In that last part, I was supposed to be the star. Anyhow, it all began late last Monday. I was home. My boss, Anthony J. Lyon, knocked on my door. I opened it. And that's when I made my first mistake.
Jeffrey, I'm glad I found you in. I'm just on my way home from the office.
You could have kept on going. I'm out of bourbon.
Oh, now, Jeffrey, I didn't come by just for that. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. As a matter of fact, I want your advice, Regan.
Cut out starches and get some exercise.
Yes.
What else?
Yeah, what would you do if you traveled 10,000 miles just to see your sister and then couldn't find her?
I'd give up the search.
You would? Why?
I haven't got a sister.
That's not what I'm talking about. You'd go to missing persons, wouldn't you? Sure you would. But if you knew your family in a foreign country would become greatly alarmed at this sort of notoriety, you'd look for your sister in another way. You'd hire a good private detective. Now, isn't that right?
Come on, Fatso, get to the point.
We have a new client. Her name's Irene Centino. She's from Brazil. Real fine family, Regan. Coffee. She's engaged the Lion Detective Bureau to locate her younger sister, Carmen.
I'm no St. Bernard.
You'll do till I can feed one. Oh, I know you've been working hard lately, but, Jeffrey, this is one of those occasions when I'm proud to be a part of our profession. We have an opportunity to help a young lady in desperate straits and, at the same time, secure goodwill from South America.
Ever hear of the State Department?
Of course I have. But they can't do it all alone. It's up to individual citizens to take responsibility, too.
And that's the only reason you want me to find her sister?
Absolutely. Now, Miss Centino is taking an apartment at this address. Here, go see her, comfort her, let her know the Lion Detective Bureau and the United States of America will do everything possible to locate her lost sister.
That all?
That's enough.
What'd she pay you?
$200.
Yeah. That's a lot of green to get in advance.
She insisted. She's very anxious to find that girl.
Well, watch out her check doesn't bounce.
It won't. She paid cash.
The $200 was already making a lump in the Lion's coat, and I knew the next spot for it was his mattress. Well, maybe that's the reason he's a bachelor. I left him in my place and drove over to the address he'd given me. It was one of those Beverly Hills apartments with a long, glassy look. Irene Centino's apartment was on the second floor. She was a tall, brown-haired girl without a smile. She wore glasses. And when she talked, she sounded sad, like a banjo player with a paper pick.
Thank you so much for coming over, Mr. Regan. I've been very upset all day. I just had to do something about Carmen.
Your sister?
Yes, my younger sister. She's the one I came here to see.
Yeah, I heard.
It's an awful vacant feeling. I thought she'd meet me at the airport, and then she wasn't there. And when I went to her address, we were very close.
She's from Rio, too?
Yes, of course.
How's her English?
Well, the same as mine. We were both educated in the United States.
Where?
Back east. Vassar.
You older than Carmen?
Yes, 2 years. She's 25 now. Carmen left home a year ago, you see. She's always been very independent, and I'm afraid something might have happened to her.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. Young girl, pretty, I don't know. And as I say, she's so independent. I received this letter from her a few days ago. It was the first word since she left home.
It came this way?
Well, yes.
No envelope?
Oh, well, I threw that away. She wrote her address there at the end, and I didn't see any need for keeping the envelope.
And, she wasn't at this address?
That's what frightens me. There isn't any such address.
Yeah. What does your sister Carmen look like?
Why, I gave her a snapshot to Mr. Lyne. Didn't he give it to you?
He forgets things.
Oh, no matter. I have another. Of course, it's old and not very good. I think it's right here in this suitcase. You'll pardon things coming all over, but I haven't had time to do anything. Oh, here it is. Right here.
Ah, she's blonde, huh?
Well, a little lighter than mine. We're the same height, too. We used to wear each other's clothes. Oh, Mr. Regan, you will be able to find her, won't you?
I don't think you want me to.
Mr. Regan, are you trying to be funny?
You hand me a snapshot so old it could be anybody and a letter that says nothing, and you want me to turn up a blonde.
I thought those would be leads. She mentions the name of a doctor. I thought you
Is he the man?
The man?
She left home a year ago. She wasn't following the crops.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a man in it. If I'm going to do any good, I've got to have it all, lady.
All right, there was a man.
Yeah.
His name was Frank Martin. I met him once in Mexico City. She thought she was in love with him. But he has nothing to do with it, Mr. Regan. I'm sure he has nothing to do with it.
How do you know?
Because I looked him up. He lives out on Laurel Avenue.
You talked to him?
No, but I asked questions around. I'm completely satisfied he knows nothing about it. Look, if you'd see this doctor my sister mentioned...
You want me to find your sister?
Yes.
But you don't want me to see this Frank Martin.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to, lady. Okay. You got a report when I got something. Oh, there's one more thing.
What's that?
How long did you stop off on the way to shop in New York?
What makes you think I'd do that?
Labels. When you leave your clothes strewn around, labels show. There's no Saks Fifth Avenue in Rio. When I walked out, her mouth was wide open like she was trying to scream. I mean, nothing came out. I hung around the door outside for a minute to see if she'd use the phone. But when nothing happened, I looked up Frank Martin in the city directory and drove over to Laurel. A 2-story apartment building the color of a bride's blush. It was wrapped around a swimming pool, too small for people, too big for birds. Martin's name wasn't on the mailbox, so I tried the manager's door. His voice sounded like a beer truck in low gear.
Well, come on in, Pilgrim. You don't know me, do you?
I just got here.
I played the Palace in 26. Oh, them was the days.
Write it up. Sell at the movies.
Oh, them slobs. Central Casting ain't called me in 4 years.
You got a card?
AFRA, SAG, and the Musicians Union. I play the French horn. And none of them call me. Now, I figure it's television. No union yet, but... by the way, what are you doing here, buddy?
Looking for a man named Frank Martin.
Now, look, I like Frank. You got trouble, stay away from him. He bruises easy.
And you're just a mother to him.
He's a nice laddie. Remember what I tell you, huh?
Sure.
Come on, I'll show you.
Thanks.
That's him.
He stays in one key.
All the time. A low one.
Sounds like.
Second door on the right.
Thanks.
See ya, Pilgrim.
Come on in. It's unlocked. Your name Frank Martin?
Yep. Who wants to know?
My name's Regan. I'm a private investigator with Lion Detective Bureau.
Wrong steer, Gumshoe. I don't need one.
I'm not looking for work. I'm looking for you.
What'd you say it was? Regan?
Yeah.
R-E-G-A-N? Regan? Regan. Just wrote that one. Cute, huh?
I'm, looking for a friend of yours.
A second ago you were looking for me. Now you're looking for a friend of mine. Frank Martin never had a friend. Who are we talking about?
Carmen Santino.
Oh. How is Carmen these days?
I don't know.
Thought you said you were a detective.
I did.
You sound like an amateur.
You sound like a guy with a chip on his shoulder.
I sound like a lot of things. You trying to get tough, baby?
I figures why your name isn't on the mailbox.
Yeah?
Nobody'd ever write you.
I'll, skip that, Regan. Who hired you to do what?
Her sister's in town. She's looking for Carmen.
Didn't know Carmen had a sister. What else?
You're the boyfriend. Where is she?
Yeah, the boyfriend. That's real good. Let me tell you what Carmen's like, Regan. Eyes just right. Hair just right. Everything just right. Everything just right. Wait till you see her in a bathing suit. That's something, brother.
She, isn't wearing one in this picture.
Bad picture, Regan. You got no idea how bad. Hardly looks like her, like she is. Ever met him like that?
Sometimes.
About a year ago, I was sitting right here and the phone rings. It's Carmen. You know, we talked about football, marriage. We were going to be married, Regan, only she decided all of a sudden she didn't want it. Just like that. It was her idea. I haven't seen her since.
You try?
Once. She moved. No forwarding address, that's all.
Makes a good story.
But you don't believe it. Now, let me tell you the reason we broke up. It's a dilly.
My hearing's good.
Well, you heard about the happy couple, but the guy keeps getting loaded, can't lay off. This is different. Big switch.
Carmen.
Yeah. Yeah, Carmen.
That's why she was seeing a doctor?
Carmen seeing a doctor? Look, why don't you get out of here?
Why?
Because we don't like each other.
The sister thinks something might have happened to Carmen. She's scared.
Some of us are scared part of the time, and then somebody makes a lot of noise looking for somebody, then everybody gets scared. You scared, Regan?
Yeah.
Oh? About what?
Carmen Santino. I might be looking too late. Well, what he gave me filled in the cast, but the plot wasn't getting any clearer. So I looked up the doctor Carmen had mentioned in her letter. His name was Kingston, and the only address was a place out in Encino. It was a ranch house built all over the top of the hill like whipped cream. Figured he was getting over ceiling for his pills. I parked my car by the gate and followed the flagstones up to the front door. When I pressed a button, I heard something that sounded like chamber music. A blonde girl wearing a red dress that must have been riveted for her opened the door about the middle of the second chorus.
Well, I like blue serge. It has an effect on me.
It's the only thing in the closet.
You fill it out nice, but you don't look sick.
I want to see the doctor anyway.
Come in and we'll talk about it. My, you are tall, Mr.
Regan.
Regan.
Who are you? Florence Nightingale?
I hold the doctor's stethoscope. My name's Vivian Lytell.
Mind telling him I'm here?
Yes, he's busy.
So are you, lady.
He'll be busy quite a while. He just opened another bottle.
Well, I'm right on time.
You're so eager.
Oh, wait.
Rex isn't sociable like me. He drinks alone. He gets more that way. Let me entertain you.
Easy, Angel. I don't know how to fix a fracture.
I've already got a man who can do that. I want one with brains.
What's the matter with the doc?
He keeps his in a bottle. Hasn't used him for a long time now.
He's done all right.
This? He'd be selling papers if his wife hadn't left him a good insurance policy.
What's the matter? Don't you like his money?
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's just that a girl has feelings, too.
Yeah. They show.
Oh, I'm glad I met you. We're going to have some nice afternoons.
Thought you worked for a living.
I got lots of free time. Besides, I should have at least one outside interest.
Keep looking. You'll find one.
You smile good, but you talk nasty.
I only came to see Kingston.
There's the phone. Call and make an appointment. Now, get out.
Vivian, about this... Oh, I didn't know you had company. I'll talk to you another time.
Just a minute, Doctor. This is Mr. Regan. He's your company, but he doesn't have a business card.
Look, Mr. Regan, I'm no longer in practice, just doing research on my own. I have all the medical equipment I can use, and I turned all my patients over to another doctor.
I know one you forgot.
Oh? Well, tell me who.
Carmen Santino.
Go ahead, Vivian. I'll speak to Mr. Regan.
Watch yourself, Rex. He doesn't know how to be nice.
It'll only take a minute.
I'll crack some ice. You'll need a drink.
Very fine, nurse.
Yeah. It's a nice uniform.
Working on my own. We're very casual. You said I had a patient named Carmen what was it?
Carmen Santino.
I'm afraid you're mistaken, Mr. Regan. Who told you that?
I read about you in a letter.
Must have been another Kingston.
There's only one with a license.
Are you a relative of this girl?
Friend.
You're a detective, aren't you?
Yeah. Want to show me your files someday?
Why not today? This way. I keep them right here on my lap. Help yourself, Mr. Regan.
Thanks.
Want a drink?
Too early.
You don't mind if I have one?
Your house.
Find anything?
Not under Santino. Could have used another name.
That's possible. When was I supposed to have treated her?
Oh, about a year ago, according to this letter. Yeah. There's a picture.
No. I've never treated anyone who looks like that.
Sure?
Positive. What was her illness?
Might have had something to do with that stuff you're drinking. They die from it sometimes.
I see. You can't see it from this window, but just over the hill, my wife's buried. I had special permission from the county to bury her on my property. She was a great comfort to me when she was alive. I haven't been the same since she passed away, and, well, that's why I'm no longer in practice.
I didn't ask for that.
But you did, with your eyes. You're a strange man. Do you enjoy making a living this way, prying into other people's lives, searching for what's best left alone?
Is he still here, Rex?
Yes, Vivian, but he's just leaving. You can find your way.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Blue Surge. You were a real disappointment.
Don't give up. I'll be back.
Don't bother, Regan. The doctor will be out.
The whole thing looked phony, like a fan dancer in long underwear. But when I left the two of them, I was beginning to get an idea, just beginning. I walked over the side of the hill to look at the grave. It was there, all right, like he said. Irene Kingston, 1922, 1948. Maybe that explained it. Maybe it didn't. I was remembering those New York labels I'd seen on Irene Santino's clothes when I left there and looked up a friend of mine in the CAA. He checked into it and told me nobody named Santino had come in from Rio on any flight last week. And the immigration people didn't have a passport or visa record on her either. I was home thinking about all this when my phone began ringing. It was Irene Santino. She did all the talking.
I tried to get you at your office, Mr. Regan, but no one answered. I had to speak to you.
What about?
I found Carmen.
Yeah?
Rather, Carmen found me. I feel sort of foolish now, calling you people in and all that. Well, she came right to my apartment. Can you imagine? She's been looking for me.
What about her address?
Oh, that was another silly thing. Only it was a mistake. She's not very good at details. Please thank Mr. Lyon for his kindness. And, Mr. Regan.
Yeah?
It's all confidential. I wouldn't want any of this to get to the wrong people.
You know some of the wrong kind?
Doesn't everyone? Well, goodbye.
Oh, Jeffrey, you run any expenses on the Santino thing?
No.
Good. It's all over.
Well, how do you know? She just...
It just came from missing persons. There's a cop there named Perini. Got an eye like an eagle.
Talk sense.
I had that other picture of the Santino dame with me. He took one look at it and opened up a file.
What kind of file?
Dead and unclaimed.
What do you mean?
The county buried her. Carmen Santino's been dead a year.
This is CBS, and you are listening to They've Got More Than Coffee in Brazil, tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator.
Well, there were enough angles to write a new geometry book. Irene Santino gave me a picture and a letter and started me digging for her sister, Carmen. I meet a guy with a piano and a doctor with a bottle. Everybody talks, but nobody says anything. And then Irene calls me off, says she found her sister. Only the Lion walks in with a different version. Missing persons say Carmen Santino's holding down a spot in the county cemetery. I figured somebody was having nightmares. I didn't say anything to the Lion and went down to the Hall of Records. There was a little guy sitting at the desk in vital statistics. His fingernails were dirty and he was reading a dictionary. He must have been at a good part because he looked mad when I interrupted him.
We're not on a bus. Quit shoving.
I want some information.
I'm a public servant. That's what I'm here for. What kind of information?
Get to the death files, will you?
You're a morbid guy. We got a lot of stuff on births and marriages. Ask me something about that.
A girl named Carmen Santino died about a year ago. Tell me what from.
Okay. How do you spell it?
Just like it sounds.
Santino, huh? Sabatini, Sanaki, Sanford. That's what happened to old Sandy. No wonder I ain't seen him around.
Come on, get with it, will you?
Here it is. Santino. Date of death, 15 October 1948. Cause of death?
Alcoholic poisoning.
Yeah. How'd you get it?
Never mind. Who signed the certificate?
Rex J. Kingston, M.D.
Okay. Here's one more for you. Look up Irene Kingston.
The doc's wife?
Look it up.
Okay. Kingsley. Here. Kingston, Irene. 13 October 1948.
Cause of death?
You guessed it again. The same. Alcoholic poisoning. Hey, this guy couldn't keep a patient.
filled it in. I could see the plot, but I wasn't sure of the ending. So I didn't waste any time getting over to Irene Santino's place. But I wasn't fast enough. The door was halfway open when I got there. All the company had left, but Irene was still around. She was sitting there looking at the phone, like it was all she had to think about.
Mr. Regan.
What's so funny?
Everything. Everything, Mr. Regan. Oh, excuse me for not getting up. I didn't expect you. I told you I found my sister, didn't I?
Yeah, you told me, but you didn't tell me she was dead.
I didn't even tell you that I haven't got a sister. Did I? Did I?
Come on, lady, give it to me. What are you talking about?
Look, this little red spot on my arm. Doesn't look like much, does it? But just wait, Mr. Regan. You just wait. You just wait. Wait.
I found a doctor on the floor below. He grabbed his black bag and went to work on her. She quieted down to a slow inside giggle, then went out altogether. The doctor got hold of an ambulance and carted her off to a hospital. They just wheeled her out the door when the Lion showed up.
Jeffrey, did I see an ambulance out front?
That's right. Your client was in it.
What?
Yeah, somebody stuffed her full of something that made her giggle.
I don't understand all this at all. I stopped by home to change to my dark suit so I could come by and bring Miss Santino the news of her sister's death, and what do I walk in?
You can save your tears, Fatso. She didn't come from Brazil, and she wasn't rich.
That woman gave me $200 cash. There was nothing unreliable about her. We had a contract.
You can use it for confetti.
Now see here, Jeffrey.
Look, Lion, look at this picture.
Carmen Santino. I have one just like it.
All right, draw some glasses on it. Add about 6 or 7 years.
I don't understand you, Jeffrey. We're talking business, and all at once we're playing games.
When I came to see her tonight, she wasn't wearing her glasses. She looked a lot like the dame in this picture.
Of course she did, naturally. That's her own sister.
She never had a sister.
Never had a sister? Then who did the county bury?
That's what I'm going to find out from a guy named Rex Kingston.
I had a feeling you'd be back. I built a fire.
I forgot the marshmallows.
Come on in. I'm not mad anymore.
I'm still looking for your doctor.
Let me take care of you. I have a way with men.
Didn't we do all this once before?
Oh, it's night now. You can ask me some questions. I know some swell answers.
I'll bet.
How do you like your drink?
Your way?
That's better. Now, let's have a nice, quiet evening. Just you and me.
I want to see him.
There's been a famine of men like you.
You don't look underfed. I said I want to see him.
Oh, all right. We could have had such a nice evening. Rex?
What is it?
Mr. Regan's here again.
Yes. Hello, Regan. Didn't I tell you I'd be out?
Yeah, you told me that, but you didn't tell me what I wanted to know. I had to go to Vital Statistics to get that.
What?
You don't have anything in your files about Carmen Santino, but you signed her death certificate.
Now, you get this, Regan. You saw my files once, and I don't have to open them again to anyone who comes here without a warrant, and you haven't got one.
But I know where I can get one. When I go to the city attorney's office and tell them what I've got, they'll have somebody out here to exhume that grave on the hill.
What do you mean, Regan?
Irene Kingston died 2 days before Carmen Santino of the same thing. Dr. Kingston signed both certificates. He collects on his wife's insurance, only I don't think his wife really died. I think that extra grave up on the hill is window dressing.
And if my wife didn't die, Regan, where is she now?
I don't know. She could be at a downtown hospital, posing under the name of Irene Santino. It was a shot in the dark, but it brought results. Kingston swung a lamp base around that connected on the side of my head. When I came to, I was in a white room, back of the house. Tried to move my head, but it felt like a grand piano. Nothing else worked either, so I just lay there. Pretty soon somebody began putting something damp on my face, and I began to see better. Vivian was standing there with Kingston. He looked sick, like an ostrich with a sore throat. He had a needle in his hand.
I can't. You can do it all right, Rex. Go ahead.
That's the same treatment you tried to give Irene?
You should have stayed out, Regan.
I wanted one more look at you, baby.
I hate to see the nice ones go, but it'll be all over in a minute. All right, Rex.
Give me a drink, Vivian. Gotta have a drink.
It won't help. I found Irene in time. She's gonna live. She's going to talk.
Go ahead, Rex. Give it to him. Then we'll clear out.
But Irene's still alive. I didn't kill her.
You'll do better this time.
I can't.
Go ahead.
No, I won't.
I said go ahead or I'll shoot you, Rex. I'll shoot you if you don't.
No, you don't. It's all over, Vivian. It's all over.
Vivian had the gun, but Kingston was too much for her. All of a sudden, it began going off. Vivian started to look pale. And then she went down. Slow. And easy. She deserved it. That what you're going to tell the state?
Regan, is Irene really going to live?
That's what the doctor says.
Good, Regan. No, don't try to move. I gave you a shot of preparatory solution. You won't be able to move for another hour. I suppose I ought to run.
You won't get far.
I know. But listen to me. Irene, she's my wife. She's innocent of all this. When you tell the police the real story...
I haven't got it all.
You had enough?
It started with Carmen Santino.
She stumbled in one night. She was very ill. She dropped dead before I could do anything for her.
Alcohol?
Yes. But before she died, she kept talking about a man named Martin.
Lives over on Laurel.
Yes, I was going to get in touch with him. But I had a better idea. She looked a great deal like my wife, Irene. It was quite remarkable.
The insurance.
Yes. Irene didn't want to do it, but she loved me, so she finally disappeared. I used one body for 2 death certificates and buried an empty box up on the hill. I was supposed to join Irene later.
See. Vivian.
Yes. Vivian came along. I was drinking one night, and she found out the truth. I was trapped. It would have stayed that way if Irene hadn't hired you.
And I was supposed to scare you with that story about her sister in Brazil.
It worked, too.
That guy Martin said. Somebody gets scared. And then...
Regan, can you hear me?
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Stuff's making me sleepy.
It'll wear off. I'm going now, Regan. See that Irene gets a fair shake?
I'll try. He picked up a bottle and started out the door. He didn't even look down at Vivian's body on the floor. I tried to move. Like he said, nothing worked. It was 2 more hours before I could get to the phone and call homicide. It was 2 more days before I talked to the Lion.
Sure. I'm sending it right over. Yes, of course. Jeffrey, my boy, how are you feeling? Better?
Well, the fog's gone out of my head, if that's what you mean. Otherwise, I feel lousy.
Oh, don't take it so hard, my boy. All in a day's work. Besides, there's the brighter side. Yes, indeed.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, they got that Dr. Kingston. He only got as far as Las Vegas. Crime doesn't pay, Jeffrey. Crime just does not pay.
Doesn't, huh? What's this?
Now, wait a minute. Give me that.
Application. Consolidated insurance.
It's nothing, I tell you.
You mean to tell me we're going to try to collect a reward?
We exposed an insurance fraud. Every insurance company pays a little something for that. We had expenses. You don't know how hard I've worked on this, Jeffrey.
Here, take it back.
Well, what's the matter? You look like it's something illegal.
Crime does not pay.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is directed and transcribed by Sterling Tracy and stars Frank Graham as Regan, with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Tonight's script was by E. Jack Newman. Original music is by Dick Arant. Bob Stevenson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Dragnet. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. A gunman has robbed a bank in your city. From his method of operation, you know he's dangerous. Your job, get him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, May 4th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detective Thad Brown. My name's Friday. It was 12:36 p.m. when I got the call, and it took me 8 minutes to get back to the city hall. Robbery squad room.
Back here, Joe?
Yeah.
Back here.
What's up?
Oh, bank job and slugging. We got a rule on.
Where?
Corner Melrose and Fountain.
Anybody else on it?
Yeah, J.J. and Murph went out.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Friday, Smith?
Yeah, Lieutenant.
You two going to cover the bank holdup?
Yeah, we're just leaving.
Dono called in. He's out with J.J. and Murph. They got it covered out there. Skipper wants you to tag Georgia Street and talk to the guard. See if you can get any information out of him.
All right. Okay. What's the name?
I haven't got it. There's a uniform man with him. Old guy's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
When the thief left the bank, the guard tried to stop him. Old man pulled a gun, misfired, pistol whipped the old guard. He's in critical condition. We just got word that you can talk to him if you get right over there. Better make it fast.
All right.
And good luck.
Yeah.
We got to come up with an identification. We got to get it in a hurry. The guy's still running. Matter of time before somebody gets in his way.
Yeah.
We can't count on it next time. The gun jamming.
12:47 p.m. Frank and I left the city hall and drove over to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. It took us 5.5 minutes traveling code 3. We went up to the 3rd floor and met the officer who'd been with the guard.
You fellas from Central?
Yeah, Friday and Smith.
I want to see the victim.
You missed him.
What do you mean?
He died 5 minutes ago.
We checked with the doctor in attendance and found that the victim had said nothing to aid in identifying the suspect. We returned to the office. A local broadcast on an APB had been gotten out on the man carrying his description. A crew from the crime lab had gone over the premises of the bank without gaining any new information. The clerks and tellers had been brought to the city hall to check the mug books. Everything possible was being done to apprehend the bank guard's killer, but without being able to identify him, the job was almost impossible. At 2:48 p.m., we got a call from Captain Donahoe.
That's right, Skipper. No, they're in the mudroom now. No, not yet. Oh, wait a minute. Joe, you want to toss me that pad there?
Yeah.
Here you go, Skipper. Yeah? I see. I got it. No, we'll check right away. Yeah, as soon as we find out. Yes, sir. All right, goodbye.
What do you got?
I checked around the neighborhood, found a newsboy, and saw the suspect leave the bank.
Yeah.
Kid got the license number.
An immediate check was made with the Department of Motor Vehicles and with our vehicle records. It took us 2 minutes to get the information. Yeah, we figured it'd turn out that way. Hey, you want to give me the address? All right. Okay, we'll run it out.
How about it?
Car was stolen a week ago. A team of men went out to talk to the owner of the automobile. Additional broadcasts were gotten out on the stolen car carrying the license number, the make, and model description. In the event the car was found abandoned, it was to be staked out and we were to be notified. Roadblocks were set up in the area adjacent to the bank and all vehicles were checked. Captain Donahoe came in from the scene and a meeting was held between him and Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. At the time, 25 officers from Robbery Division were trying to find a lead to identify the thief. We knew what he looked like, what kind of car he was driving. We knew what kind of gun he had and how much money he'd stolen, but we didn't know who he was or where to find him. The night dragged on. At 1:26 a.m., we got our first break in the case.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm one of the bank tellers.
Yes,
The officer who was with us went out to bring in some coffee.
I see.
He said if we found anything, to come in here.
Yes, that's right.
Well, we have. All of us agree. We're real sure.
What is it?
The hold-up man. We found his picture.
The suspect was identified as Thomas Bud Carey, WMA, 26 years. According to his package, he'd been arrested the first time when he was 16. He'd served a total of 5.5 years in state institutions. We checked with Fred Galloway of the Adult Authority and found that there was an outstanding warrant on Carey for parole violation. Additional broadcasts were gotten out carrying his name and description. Officers in the field were notified of the latest developments. While other teams of men covered Carey's known hangouts and friends, Frank and I left the office and drove out to see his mother. She lived in a run-down apartment house on the east side of town. The building was dark when we got there.
Yeah, here it is, number 5. Watch that.
Yeah, they ought to put a light in here. This ought to be it.
Yeah.
Maybe an easy carry might be here. Open up. Police officers, we want to talk to you.
Nothing for the cops. Get out of here and leave me alone.
Come on, Miss Carey, open up.
I ain't Miss Carey no more. Now go away.
We can do it two ways. You can talk to us here, or we can go downtown.
What's it about?
Your son.
On in. Where's he going?
We want to check.
For what? There ain't nothing here. One lousy room. That's it.
We can see.
It's the kitchen. Better take a look in the stove. Might be something there.
That place is clean, Joe.
It's not true either. Now, what do you want?
Have you seen your son?
He in trouble again?
We'd like to talk to him.
What's he done now?
You know where he is?
No.
You know where we can find him?
I haven't seen him for a couple of months. Might as well be dead.
Well, he isn't.
Ain't any difference to me, one way or the other.
You know where he lives?
It ain't here.
That's no kind of an answer.
Question don't fit either. Look, I'll tell you. I'm his mother. Long time ago, I gave him to the world. I've had trouble ever since. Gallagher again. I'll sleep with the radio on.
Lady, you got any idea where we can find your son?
Nope.
You got any close friends?
Maybe. If he has, I don't know.
How about girls?
What about?
Has your son got one?
Last time I saw him, he had a couple. Both of them married. Same as always. He couldn't do anything the easy way. If it wasn't a problem, he'd make one.
Is there any place he'd go if he was in trouble?
What kind?
Ma'am?
What kind of trouble? What's he done this time?
It'd be better if we talked to him about it.
Yeah, always that way. Talk to him. Don't do any good. I tried for a lot of years. Didn't do no good. You know why?
What's that?
You know why it don't do no good?
Go ahead.
Because you don't listen. You can stand right in front of him and scream the top of your head right off, and he don't hear you.
Is that right?
He was little. First time I caught him stealing, I talked. All day and all night. For a week, I talked. He stood there and looked at me. It was over. You know what he did? You know?
No, ma'am.
He did it again. Every time he turned around, he stole something. I tried it all. Beatings, yelling, all of it. I tried it all. His father walked out when Bud was 6, not just by himself. I did everything I could to bring him up right. Read the books, saw the minister. Even had the relief people talk to him. He just wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
That time when he was 16, when we first picked him up, I thought that might do it. You know, being in jail, judge in the court. Oh, I prayed it'd work and he'd change. It didn't. A couple of days later, he was right back.
You tell his probation officers about it?
Bud was 5'10". He was 16, weighed 170 pounds. If I'd opened my mouth, he'd have hit me.
Pretty hard thing to say, isn't it?
Oh, it's harder to live with. All the time, all the tears. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of being alive. I used to pray for him. Asked God to make him come out of it, be a good man. I prayed and I prayed. And I figured I was praying for the wrong thing. So I changed.
Yeah.
I know him. I know how he thinks and what he'll do. He's mean. In the soles of his feet, he's mean. I still pray. Maybe you're the one to do it.
What's that?
Kill him.
Frank and I arranged for a stakeout on the building, then we drove back to City Hall. Captain Donahoe and Chief Brown were directing the search from the robbery office. The morning papers had carried the story, and we were receiving calls from citizens who'd seen Carey. From the report, it was believed he'd gotten out of the blockade area, and he was heading for the San Fernando Valley. Roadblocks were thrown up on streets leading off the freeway, and additional men were called in from the Valley Division to aid us in the search. 7:42 a.m. It had been 19 hours since Carey had held up the bank. In that time, the entire facilities of the police department had been devoted to his capture. Lieutenant Dave Terry from the sheriff's office had joined Captain Donahoe and was coordinating their activities with ours. 7:45 a.m. Frank got back with some hot coffee.
Anything new?
No, got a report Terry was seen at the Vineland cutoff.
Checked out?
Don't know yet.
Hey, I got some coffee for you, George.
Oh, thanks.
Anything happen?
Yeah, we got him pinned down.
Where?
Valley.
A lot of ground.
Well, we just got a call. Kerry pulled into a gas station in Riverside. Attendant recognized him. Tried to stall. Kerry got wise, started to leave.
Yeah.
Pulled a gun, shot the man up pretty bad.
Kill him?
No, they got him in Valley Emergency.
What about Kerry?
Still loose.
Toner?
Yes.
Friday, Smith?
Right.
Hi, we got him.
Where?
Broke into a house on Woodman. A couple of motorcycle officers got him pinned down.
Well, let's go.
Joe.
Yeah.
Tag the business office. Check out everything in the racks.
All right.
Go with him, Frank. We'll need gas shells and masks. Barricade and penetration. Better take a box of double Fs for the shotguns and plenty of 45s.
Right. You be there?
Leaving now.
I'll go join Frank.
Okay.
Let's go.
It's getting rougher.
Yeah. What about the house he's picked?
What do you mean?
Who's in it? What kind of place it is?
Doesn't make a lot of difference. We still got the same job.
Huh?
We got to get him out. We left the city hall and drove out to the Valley, Code 3. By the time we'd gotten there, several other officers from Central Robbery and the Valley Division were on the scene. We talked with Sergeant Pat Murphy of our office.
What do you know about the place?
6 rooms. Here, let me lay out for you. Got a pencil?
I got a pen here.
Oh, thanks. All right, now, the house is built in the shape of a U.
Mm-hmm.
The living room runs along the front, the dining room here on the corner.
Here?
Yeah. Now, the kitchen is here, and here's a back door.
Any cover there?
Officers have found him while watching it.
Yeah.
There's a closet here off a service porch.
Go.
On the other side, there's a bedroom here, door, a bath, and another bedroom.
Just the 2 doors.
Yeah, the front and the one off the kitchen.
Where'd you get this layout?
I talked to the woman next door. She's a friend of the family, owns the place, been inside a lot.
Where are they?
With the family?
Yeah.
We're not sure. A neighbor says she thinks they're all out, and the man goes to work at 6. Woman usually drives the kid to school about 7:30.
Who put out the call?
Motor officers. They saw the car parked at the curb, went to check it out. Kerry was inside. He made the house.
They tried to get him out yet?
No, they weren't sure he was alone.
How'd you do?
Well, we got here right after they did. By the time we got to the curb, he started to shoot.
Any chance of getting to him from the back of the house?
Oh, it'd be rough. The shades are all pulled down. Hard to tell where he is. If we go in, he could be sitting under the window waiting for us.
How about the phone?
We tried, and he won't answer.
Well, that all of it?
Much as we got. Well, what do you want to do?
I'll give him a chance to walk out. It'll be his choice.
Talk to him?
Yeah. Give him a chance to open the door.
Well, it's going to be hard. We haven't been able to get near the place.
Big thing's to make sure he's alone.
As far as we've been able to tell, he is. There's no movement inside, no noise. Trying to round up the family now.
Can't wait for that. Let's get on it.
I'll try to talk to him.
You can't make it, Joe. He's in a box and he knows it.
Well, maybe that'll bring him out.
You want to do it? Go ahead.
All right.
He makes a move. Get out. Fast.
I won't need that.
We'll give you cover, John.
Last time you heard from me was in the living room. Is that right?
Yeah. There's 3 windows on the left there.
Okay.
Easy, Joe.
Carrie? Carrie? Carrie. Come on, Carrie. You can't sit in there forever. Play it smart. Walk outside and it'll be all right. Don't cause any more trouble now. How about it? Carrie? You're making it rougher on yourself. Come on out, Carrie. You can't win. You know that. Oh, get out of there! I don't have to tell you, it didn't work.
Yeah. Clock ran out before you started.
Carrie isn't going to walk.
Nope.
Well, he called it.
Yep.
Get the gas guns.
The people living across the street and on each side of the house were asked to leave their homes in the event there would be any more shooting. The riot guns were brought from the car and they were loaded with penetration gas shells. Because of the physical layout of the house, it was decided to shoot into the rear of the building and try to drive the suspect toward the front of the place. Officer Murphy, along with Lieutenant Stoner, went back to the alley that ran along the rear of the property. The 2 uniformed men covered the sides of the house, and Frank and I took up our stations in front of the building. 9:14 a.m.
How's the time?
Well, they ought to be in position.
Mm-hmm.
You all set on that gun?
Yeah. You think you'll he'll give up? I don't know. Flip a coin. Ought to be laying it in now pretty quick. There it goes. The way the house is divided, he could close the doors to the back rooms and keep us going for a while. We still have an idea where he is in the house. Yeah. I'm sure pouring it in. Yeah, it's lousy stuff. Tear gas. Lousy. Still remember it from the academy. Right. Front window, see it? No, where? Shade was pulled back. I think I saw something. Carrie? Get the stoner. Tell him to hold the gun. Yeah. There's a woman in there with him. Because of the possibility that there might be another person in the house, all shooting into the building was stopped. An immediate effort was made to identify the other person. The owner of the place, Virgil Bush, was contacted. He told us that he and his wife had left the house at about the same time. She'd taken their son to a neighborhood school, and then he thought that she'd returned to the house. The check was made at the school, and the youngster was found to be present. From all indications, Mrs. Bush was in the house with Carrie and was being held a hostage. 10:56 a.m., we met with Captain Donahoe and Lieutenant Stoner.
Any chance you were wrong, Joe?
No, I don't think so. Right after the guns went off, I thought I saw the woman at the front window. Looked like she's trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do now, Skipper?
Not much left. The woman's got to get out of there before we can go in after Carrie.
Best way to do that's go in after her.
Yeah.
What about using triple chasers?
Might work.
If we go in the back way, we can drive Carrie toward the living room. Yeah, but what if he takes the woman with him? Keep him busy enough, and he won't.
Figure she's given him plenty of trouble by this time. It'll be rough for him to drag her along.
Then it might work.
Who's going in?
Frank, now you can do it. You can give us a cover.
Where are you going to make it?
Which room did you hit, Stoner?
Back bedroom and the kitchen.
That covers both sides of the house, then.
Yeah.
The gas holding?
As far as we can tell, it's still there.
It might be better then to go into the bedroom. Drive Carrie into the living room. Hope we can pick up the woman on the way.
All right. You got the masks?
I'll get him. Want to give me a hand, Frank?
Yeah. We'll give you all the cover we can, Joe.
Good.
We can't shoot into the house, but we'll make Carrie think we are.
All right.
Once you got the woman, bring her out.
All right.
If Carrie goes into the living room, don't try to go after him. Let him sit for a while. We'll take care of the rest of it later.
Okay.
Here you go, Joe.
All right. Here are the triple chasers. Six of them ought to do, huh? Yeah. I'll take the sawed off. You should be able to handle him with that. Yeah.
I don't have to tell either one of you to take it easy.
No.
We want that woman, but we want her alive. Anything comes up that gets in the way, pull out. Don't wait to ask questions.
Right.
All right, get on it.
Let's go, Frank.
Right. Joe.
Yeah.
Carrie's rough. He's playing for keeps. You know he'll kill you if he gets a chance.
Well, that makes it easy.
Hmm?
We won't give him one. Frank and I went around to the back of the house and put on the gas masks. He loaded the shotgun and flipped off the safety. I checked the triple chasers. They're about the size of a beer can, and they're built like a hand grenade. 2 seconds after the pin is pulled and the lever is released, the shell explodes into 3 parts. Each of them throws out a large quantity of tear gas. By using them, an officer can completely fill an area with gas almost immediately. A few minutes after we were in position, the covering gun fire started. Oh, that's it. Let's go. Yeah. You going to toss one in the bedroom? Better. Make sure it's clear. Okay. I'll watch it. Go ahead. I'll cover you. All right. All right, come on. All right. That's clean. Yeah, let's get to the next room. It's the bathroom, isn't it? Should be. Well, if you get the door, I'll toss the shell. Right? Wait a minute. You got the pin? Wait a minute. All right, go ahead. Give it a second. Okay. All right, let's go. And it's empty. Yeah. Bedroom next? Uh-huh. Hold it. Okay. Now, let's go. It's Carrie. He's in the living room. We better get him. Wait a minute. Huh? On the bed, it's the woman. Come on, we better get her out of here. Right. You naked? I think so. Get that window, will you? Yeah. Wait till I get the shade. I'll go first, and I'll take her on the outside. All right.
Hold it right there, Terry.
It's us, Murph. Friday and Smith, give us a hand. We got the woman.
Here, let me help.
Okay, Joe. All right, you got her? Yeah. All right.
Come on, let's get her out here.
Wait till I get this mask off, will you?
Okay, Joe.
Wait a minute. Yeah. How's the woman?
Well, she seems to be all right. Want to give me a hand getting this tape off?
Yeah.
Thank God you made it. I thought he was going to kill me. Every minute I thought he was going to kill me.
All right now, Miss Bush, take it easy.
He's crazy. That man's crazy. If you hadn't got it, he'd have killed me, sure. I know.
All right, Miss Bush, let's get out of here. Come on.
You got her, huh?
Yeah, Skipper.
You all right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes, it isn't his fault, though. I've never seen anybody like that before.
All right, Mrs. Bush. You want to take her to the car, Murray?
Sure. Just a minute, ma'am.
What?
Can you tell us how many guns Carrie's got?
What?
How many guns did you see?
What difference does it make?
Makes a lot of difference to us.
I don't know. He's got a pistol.
Yeah, we saw that. Anything else?
Yeah, he's got a rifle, too, a shotgun, I think.
Did you see it?
He brought it into the house.
Where is it?
What do you mean?
What part of the house is it in, do you know?
The front room, I guess. That's where it was the last time I saw it.
Has he got any shells for it?
Yeah, a lot of them. Had his pockets full.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
You going to get him now?
We're going to try.
You'll have to shoot him.
Ma'am?
He told me so himself. Said you wouldn't take him alive.
Uh-huh.
Told me if you tried, he'd take a couple of you with him.
Well, it isn't going to change things.
Hmm?
He's still going. Miss Bush was taken to one of the neighborhood houses, and we got ready to take the suspect into custody. The house was completely surrounded. All of the doors and windows were covered. Each man was instructed to shoot to kill in the event Carrie tried to escape or made any effort to fire into the crowd. In a last attempt to get him out of the house without additional bloodshed, the bullhorn was brought from the car, and we tried to talk to him.
Here you are, Joe.
All right.
Tell him this is the last time around, Joe. We're through playing games.
All right. Carrie? Carrie, give it up. Throw those guns out and you follow them. All right, we'll tell you where you stand. There are a lot of us out here. We've all got orders to kill you if you try anything. You think you can sit in there and we can't touch you? You got it wrong. We'll blow the roof off if we have to.
Tell him he's got 10 seconds, Joe.
All right.
Count them out for him.
All right.
Stand by with gas guns.
Yes.
Go ahead, Joe.
Terry, you're running out of time. We'll give you 10 seconds to come out of there. It's the last time. Throw the guns out and come out after them. 10 seconds, Carrie. That's all you got. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's all you got. Time's up. All right, throw 'em in. Cover that front porch.
Here's the machine gun, Joe.
I got it.
Must have good lungs.
Yeah.
Toss some more in.
It's got to come out pretty quick.
Yeah.
There he is.
Got that shotgun. Keep down.
Yeah.
Easy now.
Carrie. Carrie.
Not moving.
Cover me.
Yeah.
How about it? It's all right. Must have been dead when he hit the floor.
Yeah. We were lucky.
I don't know.
What?
We had to kill him.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On Monday, May 9th, an inquest was held in the coroner's office in and for the county of Los Angeles, state of California. The coroner's jury found that the death of Thomas Herbert Carey was caused by gunshot wounds resulting from an attempt to resist arrest. The officers were absolved from blame.
Dragnet. The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Put a smile in your smoking.
By Chesterfield. So smooth. So satisfying. Chesterfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. An elderly woman reports that a man has stolen $300 from her apartment. She says she saw him. Your job? Check it out.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember this. In the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like Chesterfield.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Instantly, you'll smile your approval of Chesterfield's smoothness.
So smooth, so satisfying.
You want them mild. We make them mild. Mild and mellow. With the smooth and refreshing taste of the right combination of the world's best tobaccos. So next time you buy cigarettes,
stop. Start smoking with a smile with Chesterfield. Smiling all the while with Chesterfield. Put a smile in your smoking, just give them a try. Light up a Chesterfield, they satisfy.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, May 19th. It was sunny in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office, and it was 3:47 p.m. when we got to a small apartment house on the corner of Olympic and 6th. The Topeka Arms.
What's that lady's name again, Joe?
Dunbetter, Martha Dunbetter.
Let's see. Yeah, here's her mailbox, number 8.
Must be upstairs.
Well, how do you figure that?
Only 8 mail slots means 8 apartments.
Yeah?
Stands to reason number 8 will be on the 2nd floor, don't it?
Oh, well, I suppose so. Hey, Joe, I wonder who comes from Kansas.
What?
Well, didn't you notice the plaque out in front? Topeka Arms.
Yeah.
That's a city in Kansas. Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah, sure.
Well, somebody must have come from there, the owner or the builder. Why else would they give the place a name like that?
I don't know.
Well, stands to reason, doesn't it?
I guess so.
Well, you see, you're not the only one who can do it.
Do what?
Deduce.
Oh.
That's what they call it, the way you figured out number 8's the 2nd floor. Deduction.
Yeah.
I was just giving you an example. When I proved that somebody connected with the building probably lived in Kansas, didn't you? Right down there. 8, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Deduction never fails, Joe.
Who's there?
Police officers.
Oh, well, just a second. I'm coming. My goodness, you certainly got back. Oh, well, dear me, you aren't the same ones, are you?
No, ma'am. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Well, there were 2 other policemen here just a little while ago. It's a shame you didn't know. Could have saved yourself a trip.
That's all right, ma'am. We knew they'd be here.
They're patrol car officers. They were in the neighborhood, so they answered your call.
Oh, well,
All right if we come in?
Oh, my, yes. Oh, yes, please do.
You're Mrs. Martha Dunbetter, is that right?
No, not exactly.
Oh?
It's Miss Dunbetter. I'm still single.
I see.
Well, ma'am, would you mind telling us just what happened this afternoon?
Oh, no, I don't mind at all. It's quite clear.
All right, would you go ahead?
What was that, young man?
Would you go ahead about this afternoon?
Oh, well, now, let's see. I fixed myself some lunch. Then I rid up the dishes. It must have been about 1 o'clock by the time I finished.
All right.
Afterwards, I put on my hat and I went down to the library. It's only a couple of blocks from here, the Grover Cleveland branch.
Mm-hmm.
I took back my books and checked out 2 fresh ones.
All right. What happened next?
Well, I come home and there he was.
What's that?
I come home and there he was.
Who?
Well, that awful man.
Well, just where was he?
Here, in my apartment.
No, I mean which room?
Over there, the bedroom.
I see.
As soon as I come in, I heard him. At least I heard somebody moving around. First, I thought it was Mrs. Parker's manager. I know she sneaks into my apartment and noses around. Of course, she says she doesn't, but I know better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said to myself, I got her red-handed this time. So I marched him to the bedroom all ready to give her a piece of my mind.
Well,
I was never so flabbergasted in my whole life. He was standing in front of the dresser, going through my pocketbook.
I see.
My black bag and leather. It's the one he was holding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ma'am, how much money was in the bag?
Well, I'm not positive. Not to the penny. About $300.
In cash?
Yes, sir. You see, I've been saving dimes for the past 15 years.
You mean this $300 was in dimes?
Oh, goodness gracious, no. Oh. What I do is go through my change every night and put all the dimes in my dime bank. Then when it's full, I take it down to a real bank and change the coins into bills. A dime bank holds $25.
I see.
Well, you'd be surprised how much a person can save that way. It mounts up.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know the denominations of the bills?
I guess they was mostly tens. Maybe one or two bigger ones.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did this man do next, Miss Dunbetter?
Well, he found money. My $300. Stuffed it into his pockets. Then he just strolled out of the apartment big as life. I was too dumbfounded to do anything about it.
I see.
I heard him tramp down the stairs, and then I heard the front door slam. When I was sure he was out of the building, I managed to get my wits together and I dialed Central.
Central?
The operator. And she put me in touch with the police station.
Had you ever seen this man before, Miss Dunbetter?
No. I'm sure I never did.
Could you tell us what he looked like?
Well, he's a tall man.
How tall?
Big as you, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. What color hair, please?
Dark. Very dark.
Eyes?
Dark eyes, too. Dark complected. Like he'd spent a lot of time outdoors.
How was he dressed?
A shirt and pants and a jacket. Light-colored jacket. I think it was green.
Did you notice any scars?
Yes. Come to think of it, I did. Across his forehead. Thin little zigzag.
Mm-hmm. Well, how old would you say he was?
Oh, he's young. 35, maybe 40.
You know if anybody else saw him? The other tenants?
Well, I haven't talked to him, no. Haven't left the apartment since it happened.
You live alone here, do you?
Oh, man, no. My sister Bessie stays with me.
Well, where's she this afternoon?
Well, she went out of town for a few days to visit her grandson and his family. They come down from Oxnard to get her this morning.
I see.
Tomorrow's her birthday. She'll be 80. I expect they're going to have quite a celebration.
Yes, ma'am.
They're all carrying on. You'd think it was such an accomplishment.
Well, it is a pretty ripe old age, ma'am.
I don't see what's so ripe about it. After all, I'm near 79 myself. Oh, I know I don't look it. Everybody thinks there's at least 10 years between us. And Bessie is failing.
Yes, ma'am. Just a couple more questions, Miss Dunleary.
Certainly, young man, certainly.
What time was it when you got home from the library?
2:45. Maybe a few minutes after. No later than 3, though.
I see. How'd this fellow get into the apartment? Was the door locked?
Well, I thought it was. I always try to remember to lock it whenever I go out, but sometimes I do forget. Well, I guess I did today.
You think you'd recognize the burglar if you saw him again?
I most assuredly would.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing the matter with my eyesight.
No, that's fine. We'd like to take you down to the office with us and show you some pictures.
No?
Just to see if you can identify him.
Well, I couldn't go like this. I'll have to change my dress first. Well, I'm all right for walking around the neighborhood, but not for going downtown.
Well, that's up to you, ma'am.
I'll say Miss Dunbetter while I think of it. Who came from Kansas?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, the name of this apartment, you see, is the Topeka Arms, so I figured somebody connected with it must have come from Kansas.
Oh.
You don't know who it was, do you?
Well, now, let me think. Oh, yes, I remember. That was old Mr. Hendrickson's idea.
Well, you don't say.
Yes, he was the man who built this building. Well, now, that was, oh, goodness sakes, that was almost 35 years ago. My, how time flies.
Yes, ma'am. How you like that, Joe? This Mr. Hendrickson came from Kansas.
No. Minnesota. Minneapolis, as I recollect.
Oh?
But it was his idea just the same, calling it Topeka Arms. On kind of an article he read in the newspaper while the building was going up.
Ma'am?
Said there was more people in Southern California who come from Kansas than any other state.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Henderson figured the name Topeka would attract a lot of tenants. It's ridiculous nonsense. Said so at the time. There hasn't been a single solitary one.
Oh.
35 years. Not a soul from Kansas has ever lived here.
4:05 p.m. Frank and I put in a call to the crime lab. While Miss Dunbetter changed her dress, we checked the other apartments to see if anybody else had seen the burglar. Only one tenant was in. Mrs. J.T. Blade, apartment 6, informed us that she'd been out marketing at the time of the crime and had just returned home. 4:16 p.m. Lee Jones and a crew from the crime lab arrived. They began their investigation, and we drove Miss Dunbetter down to the city hall. We checked the oddity file and ran the suspect's description and M.O. through the stats office, and they came up with 17 possibles. We pulled mug shots and showed them to Miss Dunbetter. She was unable to make an identification. 6:13 p.m. Lee Jones reported no useful fingerprints or other physical evidence in the apartment. 6:46 p.m. We drove Miss Dunbetter home and we went off duty. The next day, May 20th, 11:17 a.m. I'll get it. Burglary Friday. Who's that? Oh, sure. Yeah. When'd he come in? I see. Oh? Well, I wouldn't know. What's he look like? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd like to. Right. Thanks a lot. That was Chubb Starks.
Who?
You know, Stark, the bartender over at the Yellow Cat.
Oh, yeah. What's he want?
The guy came into his place last night. He was carrying a pretty big roll. He threw it around, bought drinks for the house.
Yeah.
Got kind of loaded and did some talking about how easy he'd picked up the dough. Just walked in again this morning.
Huh. Sound like anything to you?
And Chubb says he's about 6 foot, black hair.
Yeah.
Scar on his forehead.
Put a smile in your smoking. Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember this. It's today's biggest cigarette news.
Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray.
The Accuray controller is the greatest improvement in cigarette making in years. And it's a Chesterfield exclusive. This amazing quality detective electronically checks and controls the making of your Chesterfield, giving a uniformity in smoking quality never possible before. So buy Chesterfield today. For the first time, you get a perfect smoke column from end to end.
A perfect smoke column from end to end.
From the first puff to the last puff, your Chesterfield smokes smoother. From the first puff to the last puff, your Chesterfield smokes cooler.
From the first puff to the last puff, Chesterfield is best for you.
Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember,
Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray.
Put a smile in your smoking, just give them a try. Light up a Chesterfield, they satisfy.
Frank and I drove out to the Yellow Cat Bar on Figueroa. Chubb Stark, the bartender, pointed out a husky man sitting in a corner booth. We went over to talk to him.
Keep your hands on the table and stand up.
Huh?
Police officers, on your feet.
Okay.
All right, you can sit down again.
Something eating you guys?
What's your name?
Why?
Come on, what is it?
Portlong, Ralph Portlong.
Where do you live?
Hotel around the corner?
How long you been staying there?
Since last night.
How about before that?
Back east, they just got in town yesterday.
Whereabouts back east?
What kind of a roust is this?
Where back east?
All over. Chicago, Cleveland, all over.
What kind of business you in?
Unemployed.
You got any money?
Some.
How much?
Look, I ain't no vag if that's what you're getting.
How much money you got?
$100, maybe 150.
Where'd you get it?
I borrowed it.
Who from?
Pal.
In L.A.?
Chicago.
What's his name?
Johnson, Cliff Johnson.
You got his address?
I don't know. He moves around same as I do.
How you going to pay him back if you don't know where he lives?
We'll bump into each other.
What'd you say you got in town, Portland?
I told you yesterday.
What time?
6 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Yesterday morning?
Last night.
You sure of that?
Yeah.
How'd you come? Train?
Car.
You own the car?
I hitched a ride.
Just where were you yesterday afternoon?
Riding into L.A.
All afternoon.
Yep.
What was the driver's name?
Look, how should I? And I've been hitching for the last week. I must row with 20 different guys.
You don't remember the one you were with yesterday?
Nope.
Ever been arrested, Portland?
Nothing serious.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh, drunk, that's all.
Where was that?
Ohio when I was a kid.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got some speeding tickets.
You ever been arrested in California?
Never been in California.
First trip, huh?
Yep. You ain't exactly making me feel at home either.
You know an apartment house called the Topeka Arms?
Whereabouts?
6th and Olympic.
Where's that?
In L.A.
Look, can't you get nothing straight? I ain't never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
How about giving me an answer? Why the roust?
All right, come on, let's go.
What for?
We'll show you the sights.
For instance?
City Hall. Frank and I took the suspect into custody for further questioning. 12:16 p.m. We ran the name Ralph Portlawn through R&I. They had nothing on him. We put out an APB with his description stating that he was in our custody. The bulletin requested any information about the suspect and was marked attention Chicago PD and Cleveland Police Department. 2:18 p.m. We again interviewed Portlawn. He insisted he had not arrived in Los Angeles until 6 o'clock the previous evening and refused to say anything more. 4:06 p.m. We received replies to our APB on Portlawn. Chicago reported 2 convictions for grand theft auto, and Cleveland reported 1 conviction for burglary second degree. We telephoned Miss Dunbetter and arranged for her to attend a special show-up at the main jail. 6:17 p.m. The show-up was completed, and Frank and I took the victim back to our office. Well, ma'am, you're sure it isn't the same man?
My goodness gracious, I ought to know.
Yes.
Let's see how you could have made such a mistake.
Well, he fits your description even to the scar.
But I told you it was ziggity-zag.
Yeah, you did.
This man's scar was entirely different.
Yes, ma'am.
His hair's wrong, too.
Is that right?
Other man had some gray in it right across here.
I thought you said he was fairly young.
But he doesn't have to be old to get gray. I've been gray ever since I had my appendix out. I was only 34.
All right. What have you taken home now?
It's really a shame.
Ma'am?
You arrested that poor fellow. And he hasn't done anything.
Burglary Friday. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. When'd you get it? No, not yet. Will you notify him? Right. Well, I guess we don't need to feel too sorry for Portlawn. What do you mean? Another answer on our APB. Yeah? You're right, Miss Dunbetter. He couldn't have been your burglar.
Well, I told you, didn't I?
He was in Needles yesterday afternoon. He hitched a ride. Yeah? Slugged the driver. Ralph Portlawn was held pending arrival of authorities from Needles. The investigation of the apartment house burglary continued. 2 more suspects were brought in for questioning. Both men succeeded in establishing alibis for the time of the crime. Monday, May 23rd, 1:48 p.m. Frank and I were on our way back to the office from lunch. How was your pie? All right. Just okay, huh? I said it was all right.
Lemon meringue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, Joe. You should have had apple.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, stick with apple. You can't go wrong.
The lemon was good.
You didn't finish it.
I was full.
Yeah. Well, someday you'll learn.
Learn what?
Apple pie is always safe. You can't louse it up. Even a bad cook can.
Well, I get a little tired of it once in a while, that's all.
Well, no reason you should. You can switch it around so many different ways.
Yeah, I know.
Cheese, a la mode, hot sauce. No reason to get tired of apple, Joe.
Sure.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Call for you while you were out.
Oh?
Hey, she wants you to call back. Here's the number.
Thanks.
Sure.
Bessie Maxson.
Who's that?
I don't know. Mrs. Maxson? There's the police department, Sergeant Friday. Yes, that's right. We were the ones. I guess we can. Well, is something wrong? You sure then? All right, right away. Thank you for calling. Goodbye. Miss Dunbetter's sister, she just got back from Oxnard.
Yeah?
She says it never happened.
What do you mean?
The burglary. Says her sister made it up. Frank and I drove out to the Topeka Arms, and we went up to apartment number 8. It was 2:17 when we got there.
Somebody's coming again.
Oh.
Well, what is it?
Ms. Maxson?
That's right, that's right.
Well, my name's Friday. I just spoke to you over the telephone.
No, yes, of course.
This is Frank Smith.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do, ma'am?
Come right along inside.
Thank you.
I just don't know what to say. I suppose it's all my fault for going out of town. Should never have left Martha alone. Might have known she'd be up to something.
Are you positively sure about this, Miss Maxson?
About what? About what?
That there wasn't any burglary?
Oh, Never in a million years.
Well, your sister gave us all the details.
Play acting, that's all it was. Play acting. She's done it all her life.
Oh, I see.
You mean Miss Dunbetter isn't...
My sister is as sane as you are, if that's what you're driving at.
Well, then why'd she tell us that story, do you know?
Haven't got the vaguest notion. She simply won't give me any explanation.
Oh, I see.
If the story was true, why won't she face me? Why is she hiding?
Hiding?
The minute I told her I was going to call you, she locked herself in the bathroom.
Is that right?
Been in there for 2 hours now. She simply refuses to come out.
Well, we'd like to talk to her if we can.
Yeah, I'll try again. Back that you're here may have some influence.
You think we're getting a runaround, Joe?
Sounds that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Martha? Martha, you come out of there this instant. Martha Dunbetter, do you hear me? The policeman wants to talk to you. Now come out. The police are here.
I won't never come out.
I never heard of such childishness. You see, I'm not able to do a thing with her.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe if you speak to her, she'll come to her senses.
All right.
Oh, sister carrying on like this. I don't know how I'll ever be able to hold my head up again. It's scandalous.
Miss Dunbetter, this is Sergeant Friday. Miss Dunbetter, will you come out so we can talk to you? Miss Dunbetter?
Well, it's about time. Whatever were you thinking of, Martha? What got into you?
No, speaking to you, Bessie.
Let's go into the other room. Be easier to talk there.
Yes, sir.
Not speaking to me, huh? Well, two can play at that game. And I assure you, I won't be the one who suffers.
All right, ladies, would you like to sit down? Now, Miss Dunbetter, can we clear this thing up now? Your sister says there wasn't any burglary.
Just how would she know she wasn't here, was she?
I know because I know you. Yeah. And I know you never had $300 to your name.
I did, too.
Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it?
None of your business.
All right, now, how about it, Miss Dunbetter? Did you have $300? Well?
Never said it was exactly 300. Not to the penny.
$3 would be more like it.
There happens to be a few things you don't know about, including my savings.
A likely story. You never saved a penny in your life.
What about my dime?
I shook it the other day.
I thank you to keep your hands off my property.
Savings, indeed. If I didn't pay most of the expenses around here, you'd starve to death.
I managed quite well before you moved in on me, Bessie, and I was perfectly happy living alone. Matter of fact, I preferred that arrangement.
But maybe you'd like to try it again.
Maybe I would. I'm sure there'd be money ahead. Huh. Don't you hark me, Bessie Maxim. You ought to see the way she eats. Gobble, gobble, gobble. She shovels it down.
Stuff and nonsense. I don't have any more appetite than a bird.
Birds don't nip the cooking, Sherry.
Martha Dunbetter. How can you say such a thing?
Because I know it's true. I'm off the bottle.
Well, whatever I do, I don't fib to the police like some people I could name.
Well, Miss Dunbetter?
I made exaggerated respect.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to do no harm?
I wonder if you know it's against the law to file a false police report.
Against the law?
There. You see? You're going to jail. I knew it would happen. I knew that sooner or later you'd disgrace all of us.
Why'd you do it? You must have had a reason, ma'am.
I won't tell you. Not in front of her, I won't.
Oh. Well, now, let's see. Would you mind waiting in the other room for a couple of minutes, Ms. Maxon?
I most certainly would.
We'd appreciate it if you would.
No, very well. Very well. You think I was the criminal around here?
All right, Miss Dunbetter, tell us now, will you?
It's very difficult to explain.
Well, give it a try, will you?
You see, it was all on account of her, Bessie.
Go ahead.
Started when we was little girls. It's because she's older. She's always lording it over me. Mom and Daddy always gave her everything first. Hand-me-downs, it's all I got. Bessie's hand-me-downs.
I see.
And when we grew up, I couldn't push myself very much. She's just the opposite. There at the ball. She had a pick of all the young gentlemen in town. The only time they'd take me out was when Bessie was busy. I don't think she didn't let me know that I was second choice. The only reason she married Horace was because he took a fancy to me. Well, I had my pride, too. Wouldn't settle for her leftovers. That's why I stayed single.
I see.
The least she could have done was name one of her little girls after me. After all, I'm her only sister.
Well, Miss Dunbetter, you still haven't told us why you reported the burglary.
I am telling you.
Yes, sir.
On account of her birthday. Well, that was the last straw. She hasn't talked about anything else for months and months. It's 'cause she's 80 years old, you'd think she's the Queen of Romania. A picture in the paper, people making a fuss about her. Well, I made up my mind that for once in my life someone was going to make a fuss about me.
I see.
To tell you the truth, I'm not a bit sorry I did it. I mean, yes, I should be sorry, but I'm not. I really enjoyed myself. And all those questions you asked me, like I was somebody. My name was in the papers, too. First time it ever happened. Kind of strange when you come to think about it, to live 79 years without ever seeing your name in print. Oh, but that wasn't the best part.
Ma'am?
The best part was Bessie not being able to horn in and take all the credit. Oh, I knew you'd find me out sooner or later, but I didn't care. I sure had the laugh on her. All the time she's in Oxnard being partied, I was having little parties of my own.
Yeah. Well, you didn't need to put us through all this, Miss Dunbetter. You're almost 80 yourself.
It's over a year away. When you're my age, you can't be sure of anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Besides, even when I'm 80, Bessie will still be ahead.
How's that?
She'll be going on 90.
The story you've just heard is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
On May 26th, the hearing was held in the office of Perry Thomas, city attorney. In a moment, the results of that hearing.
Now, here's our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Put a smile in your smoking. Buy Chesterfield. It's the best cigarette ever made for my money. Smooth, satisfying, mild, and mellow. Believe me, in the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like Chesterfield.
Due to the advanced age of Miss Martha Dunbetter, and because of her assurances that she would never repeat her actions, no charges were filed against her.
Better schools build better communities. Join and work with your fellow citizens who are actively seeking to improve educational conditions.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Frazier. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Virginia Gregg, Jack Crucian, Helen Cleve. Script by Frank Burt. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This is it, L&M filters. It stands out from all the rest. Miracle tip, much more flavor.
L&M's got everything.
It's the best.
Yes, L&M's got everything. The Miracle Tip is white, pure white, to give you the purest and best filter. And you get a rich, good-tasting, fully satisfying smoke from L&M's highest quality tobaccos. Buy L&M, America's best filter tip cigarette. It's sweeping the country.
One man stands between death and 10 people on TV's new dramatic program, Mr. Citizen. See Edward Binns star in the true story, Terror on Jackrabbit Hill. Check your local TV listings for Mr. Citizen. Hear Dragnet next week, same time, same station.
Lux Radio Theater presents Barry Sullivan in Rope of Sand tonight on the NBC Radio Network.